Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Become the Strongest Being in Multiverse Season 1 Part 6. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 106. Issei walked until he was close to his classmates when he saw his friends in the stadium. Issei. Wow, Tang-san has improved. The four members, upon hearing that voice, turned around and saw Issei with a smile and greeting them. Issei. Hello guys. Oscar. When you came back. Issei. Yesterday I went to the academy, but I couldn't find them and well, they told me they would be here. Juking. How did you come so quickly? Issei. I ran all day. But one thing before we continue. Wrong. Yes, what happens? Issei. What's up with those suits? They are weird, hahaha. When they heard that, we were a little embarrassed because I was right, they were horrible. Hongjin. Leaving that aside. How was the trip? Issei. Interesting, he went to a cool place. But I got bored and came back. But well, let's see the battle. Getting closer to see the battle. Wrong. Issei, what happened to your eye? Issei. Well, it was in a fight and well, I was able to recover it. Wrong. And what about that color? Issei. Maybe a side effect. Don't know. Watching the battle. That's when it started and Issei saw how his friends went on the attack from the beginning and how they won. Issei. Still improved in this time. Oscar. Do you think we've been wasting time or what? Issei. I don't know how strong they are at all. Plus those tanks and cages. This fight was won from the beginning by you. Seeing the result. And as the presenter gave the Shirk Academy the winner. At the end, the winners went up to where the others were and were surprised to see Issei there with a smile. Issei. Good job guys. Tang-san. Brother Issei. When you came back, Issei. Recently. But I saw their battle, well, better said massacre, they did it well. You bye. How was your trip? Issei. Interesting. Xiaowu. The change is most noticeable in your eyes. Issei. Hahaha good. Now that I'm back I will be supporting them in their battles. Xiaowu. It would be great if you were with us too. Tang-san. We have to talk to Master Dashi Haber about it. You bye. That sounds good. Issei. The truth is not necessary. You bye. But what are you saying, you are part of this family too. So let's go. Issei. Okay, but remember, I won't wear that uniform, he doesn't like it. You bye. I'll see what I can do since I don't want to use it either. At the end of the talk, the group left the stadium and outside they met Rongrung's father, who congratulated them on his victory. Ning. They had a fantastic fight. Plus you Tang-san surprised everyone by having a 10,000-year ring. Tang-san. Thank you Uncle Ning. Rongrung. Everyone is strong. Plus our leader who is level 44. Ning. Having such a level at such a young age has a future. You bye. Thank you, but if we talk about levels here, I would say that our brother Issei is the best here. Ning. So you were the other member. Rongrung told me about you. Issei. Good afternoon. And well, I don't take importance to those level things. You bye. When I entered the academy I had a level of 42. That surprised Patriarch Ning. Rongrung. Brother Issei tell us yes. Issei scratched the back of his head with a half smile and told them. Issei. I'm level 85. Everyone's eyes widened when they heard that and the patriarch dropped his staff. Others did not know what to say at such a level. Tang-san. How is that possible? How did your level advance so much in such a short time? Issei. It was a very long trip. Oscar. And you say it so calmly. Tell me your secret to improve like this. Ning. You are a spirit Duluo. Issei. Maybe since I don't know about those things. Ning. Tell me you don't want to join my sect. Issei. Thanks but no. Sooner or later I will have to return home. Tang-san. But if you have that level it means you can't participate. Issei. I told you but if something happens I'm going to interfere. The others just nodded. After that everyone went to rest as they would have to wait for their next battle. Tang-san and Ning had to go elsewhere to talk to someone. At the end he met with the rest. Tang-san. Well. You bye. We can wear another uniform but the propaganda will remain. Xiaowu. That's better than nothing. The others nodded and separated. Tang-san went with Issei and Rongrung to train, well just the two of them since Issei just wanted to watch. Tang-san. Issei, he is my teacher Dashai. Issei. My pleasure. Dashai. I'm saying the same thing, they already told me about you. You are someone with many surprises. Issei. It's no big deal. But hey, I see that you guys will be busy so I'll leave so as not to disturb you. Without waiting for a response he left the place. The next day everyone was in the room already in their old uniforms, which were black, everyone was happy. Issei. That's better. Juking. I wanted to see your skills, but it won't be possible. Issei. You really are curious. Wrong. Being you how not to be. Issei. Well, let's see who they get. That's when the teachers came in and gave them the news. Thanks, Anne. We are not going to give up, so we are going to fight. Issei. I knew you would say that. That's why I have another news for you. You buy. And that would be. Issei. Issei will be able to participate in battles from now on. Thanks to Patriarch Ning, this turned out. Everyone saw Issei and he was surprised. Issei. Wait, he said that was impossible because of what level? Flender. I don't think it's that much. What level are you? Issei. 85. The teachers were surprised by such a level. But before anyone spoke, Tang-san stepped forward. Tang-san. If brother Issei can participate now, then what do you say? Issei, you enter. Issei. Come on. The others nodded and left the room towards the fight. You buy. Let's be careful with the elephant armor sect. They are the best in defense, so we will have to give everything. Issei. Guys, I have a favor to ask of you. Tang-san. What's wrong? Issei. I'll go alone. You guys stay out of the arena. I want to know how strong they are. Juking. Are you sure? We know that you have a high level, but there are more of them than you. Issei. Don't worry and trust me. The others looked at each other and nodded in confirmation. Announcer. Let's start the second encounter between Shirk Academy and Elephant Armor Academy. Everyone screamed with excitement as they wanted to see the fight. Host. Welcome to Shirk Academy. With new members who are Juking, Oscar and Issei. Juking with rank of 41, 2 yellow and 2 violet rings. This is a surprise. Oscar with a range of 42, 2 yellow rings and 1 purple. This is impressive. And with Issei. When he saw the screen, he was surprised since there was no data about him yet. In that case, it was better to continue so as not to delay the fight. Presenter. Now the Elephant Armor Academy. Ning. Let's see what you are capable of, young Issei, to have such a level. At that, the presenter continued introducing the other contestants. Issei. Wow, they have a high level. Brilliant. Huyan Li. Level 43 defense type team captain. Yu Bai. I'm glad I'm Yu Bai, but for today I won't be the leader, so I wish you luck. Leaving the place with the others, leaving Issei alone. Everyone was murmuring what was happening, even their classmates and teachers. At that, Issei takes a few steps forward. Issei. For today I am the captain, my name is Issei, level 85, attack and defense type. When everyone heard that level, the emperor and the advisors he had nearby were even more surprised. His rivals were shocked by such a level. Just like the public, the presenter came out of the chalk and told them to take out their spiritual weapons. Issei took a few steps back and took charge of the attack. At that, those from the Elephant Armor Academy took out their rings and their spirit beasts that were only mammoths. Issei stepped forward and that activated his first ring, which was 10,000 years old. Everyone's eyes widened when they saw that because it was impossible. Then he took another step and the other ring came out, leaving everyone more surprised. At that he stopped. Issei. Then we begin. Huyan Li. And where is your weapon or spirit beast? Issei. It's dangerous for me to use it, so well they'll have to wait. Giving a smile to his rival. Upon hearing that, they got into an attack position. At that, the presenter started the countdown and started the fight. Chapter 107. Huyan Li. First Iron Shield skill. The other members of the sect also activated the same ability. Issei. Interesting. Stepping forward and being close to the leader, that is Huyan Li. Seeing Issei attack nearby, he could not turn back since Issei had hit him in the stomach, piercing his armor. The other members were surprised to see this and went against Issei, but they couldn't do anything since they couldn't even touch him. Emperor. Who is that boy? Ning. He is one of the first members that Shirk Academy has. But he had a training trip and only recently returned. Emperor. How is it possible for him to have that level at such an age? And also 2 rings 10,000 years old from the beginning. Ning. The truth is, he doesn't even know how that happened. They both continued looking towards the stadium. Issei. I expected more from you, but oh well. You know, I've never used any of my abilities and I'm curious how strong they are. Jumping back and taking position. Those of the sect, upon seeing this, prepared themselves and activated their shields again. Issei. Dragon King's first roar skill. Letting out a great roar that when it hit the boys, his shields were quickly destroyed. And they flew off the stage from the force of the roar. Leaving several in shock because of how quickly and easily he beat just one academy. The Elephant Sect Patriarch was upset seeing how they were defeated with just one person. At that, the presenter gives Issei the winner and he just left. You buy. Not bad. Issei. I wanted to do it at the same time as you. Tang-san. And it was much less. Issei. Well, now that this is over, let's go. Tang-san. Aren't you afraid that they will find you and kill you so that you don't participate? Issei. If you have the courage to come, I will be ready for anything. Oscar. Aren't you afraid of higher ranks? Issei. They're just idols. Taking the path to the room where the others would already be. When Issei arrived, he saw his surprise in the new participants. Flender. It was good, thanks to you we have more fame for giving such a demonstration. This way we are going to earn a lot of money hahaha. Issei. I'm happy for you. Issei. Don't show so much of your skills. Issei. But I only showed one. Issei. And the rest it was. Issei. Pure strength, nothing more. Besides, I don't like to use those skills much, I prefer to fight with bare fists. The others didn't say anything, and it was better to leave to continue watching the fights. At the end of the day they returned to the academy and everyone went to train, except Issei, who went out to explore the city since he had not seen it before. The next day the third round began, but their rival gave up because of his fame, even more so after seeing Issei fight. The boys were happy to hear that and had to wait. And so the other rounds passed where they became more and more famous. Issei did not want to participate in more battles since he wanted his friends to improve more. And what's better than that tournament? Issei. Guys, you are strong, I can tell. Watching his friends fight another academy. And so the days passed until they faced a stronger rival. Presenter. Today Shirk's Academy will face the Burning Fire Academy, one of the 5 best. Who will win said duel? In addition, young Issei will be participating today. This is all the surprises we will get today. Everyone in the audience screamed with excitement as both academies were strong. At that point the countdown began and both groups went on the attack. Issei. Well, if something happens I will help, for the moment I will stay here. Taking a seat on the floor while the others fight. One of his rivals was going to go against Issei, but his leader stopped him since it was not yet time. Minutes passed and neither group stopped until the Fire Academy used several of its best skills, leaving some of its rivals injured. Issei. Tang-san, be careful. Tang-san. I know. I'll have to go help so they don't get hurt. Issei. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Getting up and starting to walk. When the public saw that, they shouted more with excitement as they expected to see him fight. Issei walked and then they threw several fireballs at him, which he hit squarely. Everyone was surprised to see that since he didn't even move. The leader of the Fire Academy had a smile as he thought he had been eliminated. But he was surprised to see Issei walk out as if nothing had happened. Issei. He was warm. How is it possible? Maybe you are immune to fire. Issei. I trained a long time for these moments. Starting to walk towards his rival. One of the Fire Academy went against Issei wanting to hit him, but Issei stopped his blow with his hand. As he did so he hit him in the face which left him unconscious. Issei let out a sigh since his use of too much strength could kill them. At that he better turned around. And several wondered what he was doing. Issei walked up to Tang-san and touched his shoulder. Issei. I'll leave it to you. I don't want to fight them. Filling the place, leaving the entire public surprised. And that he continued the fight by winning Shirk's Academy. For his part, Issei walked around the city a bit to get some air. Issei. I can't fight those guys. They only fight to be the best. I have to go back to the house, I have time to see the girls. The truth is, I miss hearing their voices. Putting on a half smile and he continued on his way. That's when night came and he returned to the academy where he met up with his other friends. Oscar. Hey, why did you leave like that? Issei. Well, you could handle them. Furthermore, you must become strong too. I won't always be able to help. I want to see what you are capable of, you are not monsters for nothing. Hongjin. If we are monsters, what are you then? Issei. I don't know. They talked for a while longer and then went to rest to find out what was in store for them. A few days passed until the final fight arrived and Shirk's Academy had qualified. It didn't matter if they lost that round since they had already passed. You buy. Even if it's the last one, we have to give everything on our part. Xiaowu. Let's win. Wrong. You and Issei are going to participate. Issei. I'm fine like this. You guys, can I wish you luck? Tang-san. Come on brother Issei. Issei. There are more dangerous fights coming up in the future so I can help there. Wrong. It's a promise. Issei just nodded at him. After that talk they went to the stage where they were going to face an all-girls academy against Sacred Water. Hongjin was fascinated by seeing the cute girls and Issei laughed a little when he noticed his excitement. That's when he started the fight. Where neither side ceased, in the end the Shirk members retreated alone, leaving Tang-san. He was forced to use his spider spirit bone, surprising most by having one. In the end the fight was a draw, ending the fight. Chapter 108. At the end of the competitions the group went to their academy. Issei. You will have 1 month to increase your level. Tang-san. I'll go farm separately. Issei. Yes, since that last fight left you in serious condition, so go. Tang-san just nodded and left the room. Then Issei stood up from her seat. You buy. And what will you do, Issei? Issei. Well, there is still a month left for the battles. So I'm going to go to the forest for a while, so we'll see each other. Oscar. Tell me Issei, what kind of training you did to have that level? Issei. I trained every day without stopping, it didn't matter if I was sick, I never stopped doing it. Issei. Issei, where you went to train previously to reach that level? Issei. Someone told me about that place and well in the end I went. I think it's called Sea God Island or something like that, I don't remember. Issei upon hearing that name opened his eyes wide and everyone stared at him. At that Issei left the room. You bye. Issei, you know that island. Issei. It's a place where no one can leave alive, there were only powerful creatures. How come nothing happened to him? Not even the members of the spiritual office dare to go to that place. Since they never come back. Wrong. So how did brother Issei get out of there? Issei. Only he has that answer. And so the days passed where the boys trained hard every day. While Issei was on a mountain cultivating day and night since every creature that looked at him ran away from him. One day before going to the tournament Issei opened his eyes again. Issei. Wow, I was like this for a month. Now that I think about it I don't feel very hungry or thirsty. Well, it's time to go back to the others. Getting up and taking a big leap going to the academy. When he arrived he saw his friends in the yard. Issei. Hello guys. Everyone saw Issei and greeted him as well. Thanks-san. Like he was this month. Issei. It happened really fast. But I don't feel any change. You bye. Your level did not increase from what I see. Issei. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go to dinner since even now I can feel my stomach growling. Sim just laughed upon hearing that and left. The next day everyone headed to the great castle where the competition would take place. The guard guides them to their camping tent. Minutes later Rongrong's father arrived to wish them luck with someone else. Seeing that person, Issei narrowed his eyes. That person, seeing how Issei looked at him, only gave him a smile. Issei for his part returned it, but he didn't feel anything good coming from him. At the end of the talk, the group left the camping tent towards the stadium where the meeting would take place, only this time without an audience, only the participants. As they passed through the other participants they felt the pressure of their rivals. Issei, for his part, was walking calmly until he saw how Oscar and Hongjin looked at the Sacred Water girls and how they gave them serious faces causing them to get scared. Seeing that, Issei laughed a little, drawing the attention of some. Issei. Sorry but I couldn't help it. You bye. Don't you feel the tension? Issei. Not at all. In the end you will participate, I will only support you. Xiaowu. Too bad we wanted to see more of your abilities, in the end we only saw one. Issei. Everything in its time. It's better not to give too much information like Issei said. She just nodded and they went to the stadium since they had to face Barak Academy. And it was a one-on-one meeting. If one was eliminated, another had to pass and so on until everyone was eliminated. Xiaowu was the first to eliminate everyone by herself, leaving most of them surprised. While her group congratulated her on her victory and also on passing the round. And so the days passed where several had to fight as it became difficult each time. I'll skip unnecessary fights since it's boring to read just filler no hahaha. Issei for his part only supported them since it was not necessary for him to fight. That's when they reached the last rounds where Tang-san fought against one of the Wind Academy with a wolf spirit beast. Both of them were evenly matched as they used their best skills. But in the end Tang-san won because he used Hao Tian's hammer, leaving everyone surprised because he had a double spiritual weapon and also because he had the most powerful weapon that exists. At the end of the fight everyone was gathered ready to leave for another kingdom to hold the real tournament. The emperor said a few words and wished his fighters luck. At that all the winners went outside where the guards were waiting to guide them to the tournament. Issei. This will be a long trip. Tang-san. I don't think so. Issei. I'm not referring to the distance but to the problems that will come in a few minutes. You bye. What do you mean? Issei. When Tang-san was fighting that guy I saw the old man from the spiritual office calling for a guard. I think I informed the superiors about him and that they will want to kill you right here. You bye. You're right. By showing his spiritual weapon we were all surprised, exactly you. Because maybe you knew. Issei. I've seen so many things that nothing surprises me anymore. But I will only tell you to prepare, soon you will have to fight to survive. I will help you with whatever I can. Both boys nodded seriously. A few hours later, being already far from the city, they went to attack as Issei said. Where the royal hideouts tried to defend them but the enemy was much stronger than them. Issei. It's time for action. Coming out of the carriage and going on the attack and killing an enemy with one hit. Since they were enemies he was not going to show mercy against them. The other students left to defend themselves. And so they were fighting for a while. Tang-san's team was having a hard time since they were fighting against someone of Duluo level. Their teachers couldn't help as they had powerful enemies as well. While Issei moved at great speed and killed those he could the most. The aura monster. Seeing around him and how there were pieces of his companions. Issei. They tell me that often. But they deserve this for attacking my friends. Passing his hand through the chest of his enemy. When he finished he went to help the guards who were having a hard time. When she finished she saw her friends in trouble so she went quickly and saw how a guy had Xiaowu. Issei. You better let her go. Or pay attention to the consequences. Tang-san. Issei, be careful, the one called Du Luo is more than level 90. Issei. I don't care what level it is. Nobody touches my friends. So you're still alive. You are on the list to die too. You interfere with our future plans. That's when I call the guy who was fighting the boys to kill Issei. But when she was about to do it, Issei grabbed him by the neck and squeezed him quite hard until he separated him in two. Everyone present was surprised to see that. What level are you? At that Issei opened his eyes and noticed how they shone a great green color. Chapter 109. Issei. You know my level. That is impossible based on the reports received, your level is 85 and the one you just killed is level 90. Issei. What does a person's level matter? You better leave my friend or else I will kill you in the worst possible way there is. Hahaha. Third energy barrier skill. Making everyone stop moving. He was going to say something, but Issei beat him to it. Issei. This won't be enough. Taking a step surprising her rival. But before he said anything Issei beat him to it, giving him a blow that sent him crashing into some rocks. Seconds later he came out of the rubble, upset because someone weak touched him. Consider yourself dead, brat. He went to attack, but when he was about to hit Issei he stopped his blow. Issei. You are very slow. Giving him a kick that sent him flying into the sky. At that Issei makes a big jump and then gives him another kick that caused him to crash on the ground. Not bad, but that won't be enough. Fifth skill gather Hanyin. Throwing a knife at Issei, but he caught it in his hands and destroyed it into pieces. Issei. That's all. He expected more from a Du Luo honestly, since they say they are very powerful. You make fun of my brat. Maybe you don't know who the leader is. Issei. I have never cared about other things other than my friends and loved ones. Starting to run and wanting to hit him in the face, but his rival used his spiritual weapon to defend herself, but the impact still sent him flying away. Nothing bad. 7th true skill form of spirit weapon. Everyone was surprised when they saw that, except for Issei, who still had his serious face waiting for the attack. Throwing several knives in the attack. Issei deflected the knives with his own hands, surprising several with his speed. Why don't you die? Throwing more knives. Little by little several hit Issei's chest. When his friends saw that, they were scared because they thought he was dead. But they were surprised to see how the knives fell to the ground and how Issei's wounds closed at great speed. Issei. Wow, I didn't expect that, maybe that's the ability of that Hydra. He told him so himself. All the others didn't know what to say. What are you? Issei. A simple human. Without anything in particular he wants to protect his friends. Seconds later the old man with the poison arrived. Tang-san. Ancestor Dooku. What he does here? Dooku. I'm an academy advisor so I must come help too. But I notice that everything is under situation because of that boy. Issei. If you want, you can continue. Dooku. No. Go ahead, I want to see what you are capable of. Since he had previously seen how he fought and was surprised at how little skill he had. Don't they know the consequences of confronting us? Tang-san. He said that at the beginning, that means he is not alone. Issei, be careful, he has someone powerful next to him. Issei. I see. If so, let him come out. The sooner this ends the better. Don't be so arrogant, brat. Old ghost. At that moment a black cloud formed from which a person emerged. Those who knew him were surprised as it was also a Du Luo domain. Old ghost. You're taking a while, finish this quickly so you can go back and eat. Issei. Then we agree on something. We finish this. Stepping forward seconds later he was facing his rival. Seeing Issei up close, he was surprised and did not have time to defend himself and received a blow to his face squarely, causing him to spit out a lot of blood. Everyone, seeing that, was surprised, even the old ghost's companion. Old ghost. Don't just stand there, Chrysanthemum, go. Chrysanthemum. Good. Going on the attack. But Issei stopped all of his blows. The old ghost got up and went to attack, but when he arrived he alone received another blow. And then he gave one to Chrysanthemum. Just then a soldier arrived at both of them. Sir, that is the guy who informed you that he killed several of our people in a horrible way. Old ghost. Maybe you don't have a heart. You kill several in such a cruel way. Issei. You tell me. The person who wants to kill my friends. I only responded to his provocations. Old ghost. Here you die today. Activating all of his rings as well as his companions. Issei. I have never used this ability, but I don't lose anything by doing so. I'm going to protect you. Activating the 2 black rings on him. Then he activated his 3rd ring, leaving everyone surprised that it was a 100,000-year-old one. Nobody could believe that. Issei. 3rd absolute defense skill. At that all of his companions saw how an armor was formed on them. Issei. That will help you. To defend yourself. And that he sees his rivals. Issei. 4th Hydra poison skill. Taking out a large amount of poison from his mouth, destroying everything in his path. His rivals, seeing that, thought it was not so deadly. But when they saw how the soldier was instantly melted, they walked away. The poison spread, affecting several of his enemies. Issei's companions were fine thanks to the behemoth armor. Old ghost. This won't stay like this. Issei. I'll be waiting. Gathering the poison again so that no one else is injured. In an instant all the enemies left the place. Issei. Wow, it wasn't bad. Thanks Anne. Issei, how did you get that ring? Issei turned around and saw everyone with shocked faces. More from Xiao Wu since she knew how those rings were kept. Issei. I had a long fight. The enemy I had was very bad. Blender. How is it possible that you have such power in your hands? Furthermore, almost no one has a ring that is that old. Issei. I didn't know ha 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 ha. Goo goo. And because you take it as a game. Issei. What do you want me to say? You have to change the environment and look to see if there are injured people to help. Ning. Don't worry about it. Everyone is safe now. Issei. That's good. Ning. We were going to help but we saw how you fought on your own. Also, thanks for that armor, what kind of creature it was. Issei. It was a behemoth. She said it like it was nothing. But the others were open-mouthed. Issei. What's wrong? Blender. That's a mythological creature. In addition to having the best defense. Issei. Something like that he told me. Blender. Then how did you defeat him? Issei. It wasn't very easy. It was a long battle. But I found a weak point and took advantage of it. Lying since she didn't want to see her surprised faces anymore. After that the group returned to the carriage and resumed their journey. Issei thoughts. If this surprised you like this it's better not to use the other one. I don't want any more surprises or questions. Letting out a sigh. Xiao Wu. Issei, how did you find that creature? Issei. By chance I passed by where that ape and a snake that you know were and well they told me about a place where I could improve. Xiao Wu. Oh that island. Issei just nodded. But that she continued on her way until they reached their destination. Chapter 110. Upon arriving at the spiritual city as a group, they were directed to a house so they could rest. The next day everyone was training hard while Issei was lying on a tree since he didn't feel like doing it. At that, Xiao Wu reached level 40 and everyone went to congratulate her, but a teacher arrived and she was taken to look for her fourth spirit ring. At night everyone was in the courtyard and Xiao Wu returned and told them the news and hunted the beast. Issei. How easy they believe it ha 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 ha. Xiao Wu. Shut up. Issei. I'm just telling the truth. Xiao Wu was going to say something, but Da Shai arrived and gave them the information about what the tournament would be like and that the most dangerous team is the spiritual office. Da Shai. Tai Long, Huang Yuan, Jingling, Jiangzhu and Issei will be substitutes. Hongjin. The team is reunited again. Blender. It sounds good, but if we want to win it wouldn't be better if Issei entered from the beginning. Furthermore, he fought against two Luo domains. Da Shai upon hearing that was surprised and they explained the situation to him and he was surprised to know that he had a 100,000-year-old ring. Da Shai. It's better not for now. If something happens. Issei. I know I'm going to interfere, don't worry. Da Shai just nodded. At that point everyone left the place. The next day the group was waiting for their rival but had given up and moved on to the next round. Later the group was gathered in a room. Blender. Your next rival is the Xinliu Empire. It is the most powerful equipment they have. Issei. Seeing Yu Bai and Zhu Qing's face I can tell that they know someone there. Yu Bai. That doesn't matter. Right now you have to commit to this fight, it's better not to think about it. The others didn't say anything and went to the arena to watch the fight. Issei. I know Yu Bai looks like his brother. At that the presenter begins the battle. Both groups go on the attack. At the beginning Shirk's academy had the advantage but the further they advanced they lost ground. Issei. If they continue like this they will end up losing. Blender. Don't say that. Support them like everyone else. Issei. I'm just telling the truth. Also, that woman up there has been looking at this address for a while now. At that, several people looked up and saw the leader of the spiritual office. Da Shai. This is Bai Bai Dong, the current pope of the spiritual office. Issei. I see, so she planned the attack. Looking up and exchanging glances. Seeing Issei's look, she felt a slight chill that didn't take much importance because she continued watching the fight. Minutes passed and the battle continued until Yu Bai and Zhu Qing united their spirit beasts, creating a big tiger just like his brothers. But they still didn't give up and made their tiger evolve and have wings, leaving most people surprised by it. Issei. You guys always achieve the impossible. They are the best. Seeing how the presenter gives Shirk's academy the winner and how some celebrated. At that point everyone left so they could rest and fight the spiritual office. The next day another fight began and the group saw how the spiritual office academy humiliatedly defeated another academy. At that point they look at the group and give them a smile, making some angry. Issei. Don't make that face. That only makes them more confident of victory. Thanks Anne. I know this is frustrating. We have to win guys. The others just nodded seriously. The fights continued until there were only 3 teams left, being the Spiritual Office, the Wind Academy and Shirk. Bye Bye Dong was a little upset when she noticed that this academy had passed, but she had to bear it. Bye Bye Dong. Congratulations to those who have passed this round. Bye Bye Dong. One will pass after the draw, and the other 2 will fight to reach the final. At that everyone left and in the end Shirk's academy would have to face the Wind Academy. Oscar. We are destined to fight them. It's the 3rd time. Thanks Anne. Don't worry about it right now, you have to focus on how to beat them. Now that they joined the Fire Academy they are stronger. Issei. I have an idea. Flender. And that would be it. Issei. I will go with the 4 who have not participated and with me there will be 5. I need 2 more people to be the 7, so you are at 100 in the final. Thanks Anne. But, Issei. Don't worry, nothing will happen to anyone while I'm here. Since I will take care of all of them. You bye. Okay. Then Hongjin and Oscar will go. Issei. Good. I promise you this will be over quickly. The others nodded. After that it was time for the fight and those from the Wind Academy were surprised to see only 2 of the main 7. Maybe they don't want to continue anymore. Issei. I'm not going to disappoint you. This will end quickly. You are underestimating us. Issei. I've never done that. Taking an attack position while 2 people looked at Issei in annoyance for the previous humiliation. Bye Bye Dong. So that's the boy who humiliated them on that mission. Old Ghost. That's right. We were actually surprised to learn that he had a 100,000-year-old ring. Bye Bye Dong. How did he manage to follow him? He must be very strong to have one at such a young age. In addition to being level 86. How is it possible that I beat you at level 95? They both didn't know what to say. That's when the battle began and Issei moved at great speed, hitting one in the stomach, knocking all the air out of him. He hit another in the back of the head and fell unconscious. When one saw that, he was going to leave, but Issei hit him in the face, sending him flying and leaving him embedded in the wall. The leader, upon seeing this, became upset and went on the attack. But Issei anticipated his attack and stopped the blow. Issei. End of the game. Hitting him in the face leaving him unconscious. The others gave up since they had no chance. Everyone was surprised since he defeated Bye Bye Dong very easily after noticing his speed without having to use spiritual energy. That's when they announced who won. And Issei went to his friends. Issei. I promised you I would finish quickly. Wrong. I would say too fast. How do you move like that? Issei. I trained my legs for a long time. But hey, we have to go. In a few days it will be the final and you must practice to win. I will be supporting them. You bye. Brother Issei, why don't you want to participate in the finals? Issei. You are a team and you know each other well plus your abilities. And you don't know how I fight. Also sooner or later I will leave and well I don't want to leave a gap hahaha. But I will support them. Starting to walk to the exit. The others saw each other and left the place. Chapter 111. It was afternoon and the boys were in a room cultivating while their teachers supervised them. After a few minutes they stopped. Issei. Thanks to Issei taking care of the previous round, you are ready for the final. Thanks Anne. Yes, but speaking of that, where is the Zhao? He left a while ago. He said he wanted to go for a walk. That boy doesn't like to sit still. Xiaowu. As long as he doesn't get into trouble, that's fine. While in the spiritual office Bye Bye Dong was giving his instructions. Bye Bye Dong. If they don't leave Tang San dead tomorrow, they'd better leave him very injured. Yes, His Highness Papa. Issei. Wow, I don't know why you hate my brother so much. Upon hearing that voice, everyone became alert until Bye Bye Dong got up from his seat and started searching but nothing. Until Issei came out of one of the columns in the place. Bye Bye Dong. How did you get in here? Issei. That's the least important thing right now. Tell me something seriously. You plan to do that. Bye Bye Dong. If you have any problem. Issei. Of course. They are all my friends so I can't let you hurt them. Old Ghost. You have courage to speak to His Highness like this. You must know where you are. Issei. That doesn't matter. You guys better not do something stupid or else I won't have any mercy on you. Bye Bye Dong. Are you threatening us? Issei. It's more of a warning, really. At that Bye Bye Dong began to come down from his altar and with every step he took a spiritual ring was activated. Until I get to red. Just then Issei saw a large spider behind her. But he still continued with his face. Issei began to walk also activating his rings. The young people, upon noticing that he did not have his yellow and purple rings, were surprised since only one of them went to black. And they were more surprised to find out that she had a red one too. Issei followed her pace and then another red ring was activated, surprising everyone. Even Bye Bye Dong was surprised to see that. But Issei continued on his way until a 3 red ring formed. At that Issei stopped his pace. Everyone could see a large presence behind Issei. Causing the weakest to fall fainting from such a presence and those who resisted to fall to their knees. Bai Bai Dong stood upright with the help of her scepter. But inside she was trying her best not to fall to her knees. Bai Bai Dong thoughts. How is it possible that she has 3 100,000-year rings? On the island Issei killed several beasts and I only showed 2, the rest are surprises hahaha. Issei could notice how she held her scepter tightly and how some were fainted. And others were barely breathing. At that, he kept her spirit rings, letting some breathe and Bai Bai Dong let out a sigh. Issei. You have been warned. And I don't do it very often. I can tell you hate someone just by looking at your look. Bai Bai Dong. Because you think that. Issei. I've received that look since I was a child. But hey, I don't care what you do. Just don't hurt my friends or you'll see my fury. After finishing saying that she turned around and started walking towards the exit while she whistled. When Bai Bai Dong left, she returned to her seat to think about something new while she watched her hands tremble. Bai Bai Dong. Who the hell is that guy? But Issei, upon leaving, returned to the bedroom where the others were. After saying that she just went for a walk and a coffee. Everyone went to dinner and at the end to prepare for the next day's battle. The next day the other academy supported the boys. When they arrived at the place they went up the stairs and there were their rivals waiting for them. The teachers were already inside just like the other kids. Only 8 people were in front of them. Ready for your defeat. You bye. We'll see about that. Walking past them like the rest. The last one was Issei, but she noticed his face with a lot of confidence in him, so she let out a sigh since she thought that his warning was of no use. After a few minutes they began the battle. Issei. You won't have it easy guys. So as not to narrate the fight so much, it is there although it continues in chapter 105 as well. From the beginning, Shirk's academy had the disadvantage as they separated the group. But Tang San was able to defend against the changed attack of the 2 strongest people. After a tough battle Tang San had won, but his spirit bone had been broken, causing him to scream in pain. Since the bone was connected to his body. Tang San used the remaining pieces of his weapon and threw them into the air. The enemies diverted his attack but did not expect him to return and give them a wound. Knowing that poison was entering them. Little by little they began to fall, leaving only one. He saw Bai Bai Dong and she just nodded. He raised her hand in surrender. Tang San barely got up to remove the poison because if he didn't do it, they were going to die. Rong Rong's father used his ability to heal everyone present. But Bai Bai Dong noticed something about Xiao Wu and a half smile formed upon knowing that. Issei noticed that smile and he didn't like it at all. Issei. There are many problems coming from now on. Going with the rest of his teammates to congratulate them on their victory. Issei. Good job guys, it was great. Plus your Tang San. Tang San. Thank you brother Issei, but he came at a great cost. Because of how you saw. Issei. I know but what matters is that you're alive. That's when Bai Bai Dong arrived. Bai Bai Dong. Tang San, good fight, congratulations. But now you better treat the poison from them. Tang San just nodded and grabbed a piece of his old weapon and took out the poison from everyone. After that Tang San was returning to his companions until he noticed how they were watching Xiao Wu and went to her. Issei thoughts. Tang San from now on you will have to improve even more. The catastrophe is approaching. At that Bai Bai Dong called the captain to collect the 3 spiritual bones since that was the prize. When they had them, they distributed them. At that they were surrounded by several heirs of the spiritual office. I made everyone get serious. Bai Bai Dong. Since the tournament is over. It's time you 2 get that girl. They both nodded and went against Xiao Wu. But before they arrived, Issei stood in front and hit everyone who sent them back. Issei. I warned you by whatever your name is. Don't do something crazy. Bai Bai Dong. And I told you why I would have to listen to you, brat. You know very well where you are. No one will leave here alive, maybe they don't know that she is a 100,000-year-old spirit beast. Everyone, upon knowing that, was surprised. Xiao Wu only lowered her head since her secret had been discovered. Issei for his part continued with his neutral face. Issei. That doesn't matter. If he fights you want it to be that way. I will give everything I have for my friends. Taking attack position. Chapter 112. Issei was ready to fight, but then the others joined in, and Xiao Wu was also his friend, and they didn't care who she was. Bai Bai Dong. Then everyone dies here. Sending all his soldiers to attack. Flender. You young guys, we'll take care of it. Together with his 2 companions, they created the most powerful form of him, which was a dragon, causing a great roar that sent several soldiers to attack. Even Du Gu joined the battle since he liked Tang San. At that Bai Bai Dong activated his rings, surprising some. Xiao Wu. That's my mom's ring. Everyone was surprised to hear that. At that Bai Bai Dong attacked the dragon of the Iron Group. I made them have a hard time. Since she was by far stronger than them. At that point, several went into the attack with the intention of killing. Bai Bai Dong. 6th ability Spider Draining Needles. Create several spider legs around him. Issei. 3rd absolute defense skill. Making everyone have those armor and no one getting hurt. Bai Dong was upset to see that it didn't cause any damage. Issei. No one will die while I'm here. Bai Dong. Let's see how much you can endure. Sooner or later your spiritual strength will run out. Issei didn't say anything and killed one that was coming towards him. Xiao Wu couldn't stand watching her friends fight, so she decided to go and turn herself in, but Tang San didn't let her. But Bai Dong went against her, wanting to kill her. Tango San was not going to arrive on time. Issei was going to go, but she stopped as she sensed someone else. Seconds later a large red hammer fell, surprising most. Those from the spiritual office were scared when they saw that hammer, since they knew who it belonged to. Bai Dong. Tang Hao. Tang Hao. Spiritual officer and return. Started walking in the air and activated the rings from him. Everyone was surprised to learn that he also had a 100,000-year-old ring. At that Tang Hao activated the true form of the weapon himself. Those from the spiritual office went on the attack. The other members gave of their power, but Tang Hao won in the end. And he quickly went for his and Xiao Wu's son and took them away. Issei could see how she took them away and decided to do nothing since everything was over. Bai Dong. Don't chase them, Tang Hao is still a person to be feared. He was about to leave, but Issei spoke to him. Issei. In the end your plan didn't work, hahaha. Bai Dong was upset to hear that voice, but it was better to leave since he was not in the mood. The others left the place as they did not want any more problems. Oscar. Patriarch Ning, I want to join his sect, I don't know if it's possible. Ning. Of course. Everyone is welcome to go. The others were happy to hear that, but Mu Bai and Zhuking refused since they had to go back home, and Hongjin refused since he likes to be free. Ning. And you Issei. Issei. I like to explore. I'll go through some places and then I'll go fight a bit. I have some unfinished business with some creatures. Issei. You will return to that place. Issei. It's a good place to train. Ning. Where are you going? Issei. Go to the island of the sea god. When he heard that, he was surprised. Ning. That place is very dangerous, no one leaves there alive like you. Issei. I was lucky maybe. Hongjin. Hey, I can go with you so I get stronger. Issei. Sure, but you should know that you won't be able to sleep or eat or drink water for some days, since you'll have to be alert and fight non-stop. Hongjin upon hearing that turned pale and better quickly refused. The others laughed when they saw that. After a few minutes everyone said goodbye and went their separate ways, promising to see each other again. Before leaving they promised to see each other again after 5 years. Issei took his way into the forest and went to see those two creatures, and when he arrived he was surprised to see Xiao Wu. Issei. Xiao Wu, how are you? Hearing that voice, she turned around and saw Issei quickly went and gave him a hug. Xiao Wu. Brother Issei. How is that? Issei. The others decided to return home to train. But we promised to meet in 5 years at Shirk's Academy. It's good that I saw you. There you tell Tang San when you see him. Xiao Wu. Why don't you ask me about him? Issei. If his father took him, it was for a reason. And I know he will come back for you. You love each other very much. Xiao Wu. I will become strong too. Issei. I know you will. Same as him. Well, since I saw you and warned you, I will return to my path. Xiao Wu. Where are you going? Issei. To the same place as before. It's not very calm. Xiao Wu. Your taste for tranquility is rare. Issei. Hahaha maybe. Well, see you later. Giving him a hug and leaving the place. Meanwhile elsewhere. Several days had passed and the girls got along very well. Gabriel. So much time has passed and there is still no news. Alicia. You don't have to give up. Besides, he must be fine. Liza. Ani-chan is very strong. Irina. Of course he is. Aviana. Claire and Prince, we're leaving, we have a mission. Prince. I don't really want to go worse, well, that's better than doing nothing. Claire. It's to distract us. And who we will go with? Aviana. With the Sekiruyuite and Yakai. Prince. Wait, I don't want to go with that pervert. The first time he saw us, he kept looking at me. Claire. Plus he always asked me on dates. And to join his entourage. Griselda. Since the council promoted him to a high-class demon and gave him his evil pieces. He's just looking for girls for his group. Serafol. Surzich and I refuse to be promoted, but those old guys have more support from other clans. Since they like to have that boy on their side. Enterprise. If he asks me to join his group again I'm going to shoot him. Enemu. I support you. Ingvold. Me too. Yukin. But you know what was fun. Roswis. What? Yukin. When everyone said they were with Issei. They saw his face. Brenthold. I did see it. She turned red from how upset she was. You could tell she hates him. Belfast. From what I investigated, Issei defeated him twice. Hiroka. He thinks he is the strongest just for having the Red Emperor. Lefei. Vali also wants you to join his group. Enterprise. I punched him in the face when he told me. Aviana. Because. Enterprise. I was tired of being asked that. Office. I think they both want all of you to join their groups to annoy Issei. Tsukiyomi. Well, they'll have to look elsewhere. Aphrodite. Only someone stupid would join their groups. No offense to your brother Lefei. Lefei? Okay. Plus he doesn't like Issei too. Isaka. I just hope that when Issei comes back, they do not try to bother you as they may get very hurt. The others just nodded since he was right. All the girls live together so they can get to know each other better and they all get along well. Chapter 113. Issei was lying under a tree remembering so many moments. Issei. It's been 5 years now. How is it possible that he can't come home? Perhaps I will be destined to stay here forever. But it's better not to torture myself with that and see what happens. Now that I think about it, I have to go back to the academy, I have to wait for the others, maybe they have already met or not. Heading up on the way to the sea. In those 5 years Issei remained on that island causing disorder. After a year, every creature that looked at him quickly fled the place. Some even bowed to him out of respect, but Issei didn't take that into account. And over time he got along with some creatures. Issei is now 21 years old, but he hasn't changed anything and I miss that, but after thinking about it a little he stopped doing it since there was no use in doing it. Issei. It was fun friends, but now it's time to see my friends again. Someday I'll back. The creatures just gave a big roar as if saying goodbye to Issei. For his part, he just gave them a smile and started running in the water at super speed that the water didn't even move because of how fast he was going. After 2 hours of running I arrive in the city again. Issei. Before it took like 3 days to go and come back. Now just 2 hours is a new record. Well, I'll take you as a souvenir. Walking through the streets. And seeing the stalls. It stayed like that for a few minutes until she finally bought some bracelets for his friends. At that point he returned to his path. A few hours later he arrived at the academy, entering without anyone noticing. At that he hears several knocks and out of curiosity he goes to see and was surprised to see his friends fighting more when he saw Oscar with Tang Sen's hammer and changed it from him like Hongjin. At the end of the fight the winner was Oscar. At that Issei started to applaud and everyone looked from him to the place where the applause was coming from. And they saw Issei walking towards them with a smile. They were surprised to see him there and he hadn't changed anything. Tang-san. Brother Issei. When you came back, Issei. I recently saw a bit of their fight, it was great. Besides, you have changed your Tang-san a lot more. Tang-san. I thought you weren't going to recognize me. Issei. Ha 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 well almost everyone is here. Plus Hongjin lost weight. Hongjin. Hey. Issei. I'm sorry. But it's a pleasure to see everyone. Approaching them and giving each of them a hug which they happily reciprocated. Wrong. Issei you look the same as you did 5 years ago, how is that possible? Issei. I have no idea what really happened. But don't take it seriously. You bye. Always the same carefree. Hongjin. Issei, I have news for you. Issei. What's wrong? Hongjin. Now they all have a partner. Tang-san with Xiao Wu. You bye with Zhu King. And Oscar with Wrong. Issei. Well, I partly knew that this was going to happen, congratulations. Hongjin. You know what it means. Issei. No. Hongjin. We are the only singles in the group, we should look for a partner soon. Issei. No thanks. I already have people waiting for me. Hongjin. And when are you going to introduce her to us? Issei. When possible. Well leaving that topic. Have a memory of my trip. Giving everyone a bracelet. When he arrived with Tang-san he gave him 2. Tang-san. Because. Issei. The other one is for Xiao Wu. For when she comes back. Tang-san. How do you know what happened to him? Issei. I met some friends and well they told me. Don't worry, if you need anything, tell me and I'll help you. We are all family, no. The others smiled and nodded. After that they entered the academy and continued their talk in the room. Tang-san. Issei, I plan to create a sect and well, tell me, do you want to join? Issei. I don't promise anything. I will help you for a while since sooner or later I will leave. Tang-san. Where? Issei. To my house. I have to see my loved ones. But I don't know how long until that time, so I'll help with what I can. Tang-san just nodded at him. The next day several went to train while Issei explored the academy more since it had gotten bigger. Already in the afternoon everyone was gathered and Tang-san read that she was going with other people on a trip. Tang-san. Hongjin and Issei want to come with me since you guys aren't that busy. Issei. Sure it will be fun. Hongjin. Are you a child to think like that? Issei. Leave it like that hahaha. The others didn't say anything. After that the three headed to another city in search of another person. After a few hours of travel they arrived at the defense clan. Issei. It's an interesting place. Looking to the sides to see your surroundings. Upon entering they were greeted by the clan leader. After a long talk and explanations, the defense clan leader became upset as he was told that Tang-san is Tang Hao's son. At that Tang San challenged the leader to a battle where Tang San barely won since he did not want to back down. New Gao. Haha, now we are in an alliance so we have to drink. Giving a drink to Tang San who drank it but didn't like it. For her part, Issei refused to drink from the beginning since she didn't like it just by the smell. They were celebrating all night. After a few days, the Speed clan leader arrived with his granddaughter. When Hongjin saw her, a big smile formed on his face. Issei and Tang San couldn't help but laugh a little seeing him like this. Issei. How much do you bet she rejects him? Tang San. I would end up losing since we both know the result. Hongjin. Having them say it in front of me hurts more, the truth is. Issei. It's so you don't humiliate yourself, friend. Tang San. It's for your own good. Hongjin didn't say anything and left the place. Issei and Tang San laughed a little. They stayed like that for a few days until another clan leader arrived. Where he fought against Tang San, only this time he received help from Xiao Wu. Tang San was surprised to see her, but he was happy for her and shed a tear since he was able to see her again. The next day, when Tang San woke up, he saw Xiao Wu next to him and spoke to her, but he noticed that she couldn't since she didn't have a soul. But he didn't take much notice of it since he could see her again. When he left her room he went to her friends and when they saw her, Hongjin was even more surprised. When she saw Hongjin she got scared and hid behind Tang San, but when she saw Issei, she stopped hiding and approached him and gave him a hug that surprised Tang San and Hongjin. Issei. Wow, you've grown up. And so changed, it's great to see you, Xiao Wu. She just nodded. Tang San. She understands you. How is that and why she's not afraid of you like Hongjin? Issei. No idea. But now we are all reunited. NS Xiao Wu returned with Tang San. After that the group returned to the empire to meet with their other friends and break the news. Chapter 114. When the three returned they saw many students in a place of fights and explained to them what was happening. Issei. Interesting, after so long you still have friends, Tang San. Tang San. I wouldn't say friends. But I will fight with the three of them. Xiao Wu, stay close to Rongrong. Rongrong approached Xiao Wu and pulled her out of the battlefield. The three rivals, being two members from the Fire Academy and one from the Wind Academy, were going to fight against Tang San. At that everyone takes out their rings. The girl had a level of 52, the brother was 53, and the wind guy had level 61. Assembling her rings, I already have one that is 10,000 years old. But when Tang San showed her rings plus the 100,000-year-old one she had on, everyone was surprised. Issei couldn't help but laugh when he saw the others' faces of surprise. You buy. It's rude to laugh. Furthermore, it is not very common to have a ring that is so old. Issei didn't say anything else and watched the fight end after a few minutes, leaving Tang San the winner. The next day the group headed to the city of the blacksmiths. Exactly Issei, since she had already gone there before and she didn't like it very much. Issei was bored so she went out for a walk and noticed that the city had changed a lot. Issei. This is going from bad to worse and all of this is happening through the spiritual office. Go right now to solve this, but it would get the boys in trouble, it's better to wait for them to get stronger. As he was lost in thoughts, he went into the forest. Until someone fell on him. Issei quickly pushed that person away and when he saw her he was surprised. The person seeing Issei quickly gave him a hug. Issei. Griselda, how come? Responding to her hug. Since she had not seen him for years. Griselda separated from Issei and looked into her eyes and was surprised that she had the other one and that her color changed. Griselda. Issei, what happened to your eyes? Issei. Nothing important. Tell me how you got here. Griselda. Recently I was in the laboratory with Amaterasu looking to see if we could find you but nothing. At that Amaterasu went to rest since it was late and I continued. Out of nowhere the portal opened and brought me here. Issei. I see, but I'm still glad to see you. Giving him another hug. Griselda. Because you act like that. It hasn't been long. When Roswis and the others arrived it had only been a month. Hearing that, Issei separated from Griselda. Issei. 1 month. It's been 5 years here. Griselda was surprised to hear that and looked at Issei's face and was surprised that she hasn't changed that much. Griselda. But you look the same, nothing has changed. Issei. I know. But tell me how it went for the others. The truth is I miss them. Griselda just gave him a smile and began to explain what had happened in more than a month. Issei. Wow, I didn't expect that. That hero got his group. Griselda. I know. But he also hasn't stopped bothering some girls like Enterprise and Claire. Same as Bali. Issei. And how they acted. Griselda. They get angry and slap them both. Issei. Hahaha, it's normal for them to be so serious. More Enterprise since she was a squad leader. And Claire being the student council president was used to that. Griselda. And what have you done in these years? Issei. It's a bit of a long story. How about I take you out to eat something and show you the city? Griselda just nodded and they both left the place. On the way they met some creatures, Griselda was surprised when she saw them. And Issei explained what they were like. Griselda was surprised to know everything she told her, she didn't know what to say. More knowing that they gave abilities when killing them. That's when they arrived at a cafeteria and several men were surprised to see Griselda's beauty. After half an hour of explanation I finish. Issei. And that has happened in these 5 years. Griselda. Wow, there are many things. As well as knowing that you now have such abilities. But since you don't use them, right. Issei. I rarely do. I prefer to use my fists. And tell me how the war with Cow's Brigada is going. Griselda. We managed to stop them for now. But they are getting stronger. Issei. I see. And the bad thing is that I still can't go back. Griselda. Maybe Azazel will find something knowing that he disappeared. Issei. I hope so. I have to go back and… Griselda. Issei, don't put pressure on yourself. At the moment we are here and we can't do anything. Issei. I know, and another war has already started here. Griselda. How involved are you? Issei scratched the back of his neck as she laughed a little. Griselda, seeing that, let out a sigh and she knew that she was very involved in that fight. Griselda. I thought so. Just like the others said. You got in trouble. Issei. It couldn't be helped. Griselda. And where are your friends? Issei. They went to the city of blacksmiths. To look for some things. Griselda. And why didn't you go? Issei. A year ago I was there for a while. And good help to a person and good to the person who hit was from the spiritual office. Griselda. I see. So if you come back you will be searched. But why don't they look for you everywhere? Issei. No idea. Well, how about we go to the academy, I'll show it to you. Griselda just nodded with a smile and they both left the place. Griselda took Issei by the hand since she had not seen him for a while and she missed him. When several students arrived, they were surprised to see them together. Some of the boys were jealous, but they couldn't do anything since they knew who Issei was. Griselda. It's a nice place. Issei. That's what I thought when I came. I like all this, but I prefer to be at home with you. Everything was more fun. Griselda. You know now they all live in the same house. And there is always laughter at your nonsense. Issei. I see, I'm glad about that. They continued on their way until they crossed paths with Flender and Dashai. Flender. Issei, and who is she? Issei. She is someone very special to me, her name is Griselda. Griselda. A pleasure to both of you. Giving a small bow and a small smile. They were both surprised to see that since he behaved like someone from the upper class. After a little talk they went their separate ways and Issei continued showing the academy. With great happiness since he had someone he knew close to him. Chapter 115. When the group arrived at the academy they went directly to the living room to rest. When they arrived they were surprised to see another person there. Issei. Hello guys, how are you? Thanks-san. Good. Everything turned out well. Issei. I'm glad. Guys, I want to introduce you to someone very close to me, she is Griselda. Griselda. Issei has told me a lot about you, it's a pleasure to meet you. Hongjin. Traitor, I thought we would be the two lone wolves. Issei. I told you that I had important people. Rongrong. It's nice to meet you. It's the first time we meet someone close to Issei. He has helped us many times. Griselda. I imagine that's what he is like. Hang-san used his eyes to measure his spiritual power and was surprised to know how strong he was but was also surprised to know that his spiritual power was very different. Issei. Well, what do you have planned now? Hang-san. I'm going to the castle, the old monster wants me to help him with something from the king. Also the leader of the medicine clan will go, tell me do you want to go? Issei. Sure. Tell me Griselda, are you coming? Griselda. Of course I have nothing better to do. Hang-san nodded and after a few minutes they headed towards the castle. Griselda. Issei, I don't like this at all. Issei. I know. Please, if something happens, get behind me to protect yourself. Griselda. Thanks but no. You know I haven't been wasting my time and I've been entering. Issei. Still. Griselda. It's okay, I promise. Issei just gave her a smile and after a few minutes they reached their destination. Just upon entering the castle they noticed how many layers there were. The prince ordered that no one will enter. Gugu. I am in charge of knowing how the king's health is. At that Tang-san took a few steps forward and the soldiers were ready to attack but the sack something that the prince gave him and the guards with no other option let them enter. After taking just a few steps they were stopped by two people in golden armor. And seconds later the crown prince emerged. Griselda. Issei, those three people are strong, I can feel it. Issei. I know. But tell me you notice something strange about the prince. Griselda did not understand so she focused more on the prince and after a few seconds she managed to know them. Griselda. She is a girl. Issei. That's right. When I saw her for the first time I felt something strange about her so I watched a little until I noticed her. Griselda. Plus her aura is sacred. Because. Issei. I think there are only a few people with that power and they are the spiritual office. So she disguised herself as a man to enter this kingdom. Griselda. So what do we do? Issei. For now there is nothing to just observe. Listen to their plans but be alert, a battle will begin shortly. Griselda only nodded seriously. No one could hear her talk since they were a little apart. After a few minutes of talking and trying to convince Tang-san to join in, Issei said to talk. Issei. How about we leave this talk better? How dare you interrupt? Looking further back until she noticed it was Issei and she was surprised to see him there, but she didn't show it. She knew about his strength 5 years ago, but right now she doesn't know his level. Issei. Why don't you take off that mask? What are you taking about? Tang-san. What do you mean? Issei. You'll see. Seeing the person. Issei. I know you're not a man. So why don't you take off that costume? How come you? Issei. It was on that occasion that I met you. But also because I notice a strange energy in you. At first I didn't understand why since I had never been able to do that, but now I have mastered it. What kind of energy? Issei. Let's stop playing games. I know you belong to the spiritual office. When everyone heard that, the prince was even more surprised. You are someone intelligent, Issei. Since I found out about you at the competition it was a complete surprise. Since it was an achievement to meet someone with a level 85 at such an age. But the strange thing is that nothing is known about your past. Issei. I'm not someone special because of that. Do not lie. But well, since you discovered me I have no choice but to show my true self. Taking out 4 pairs of golden wings and starting to float. The others knelt when they saw that. And Tang-san's group was surprised to see a great angel. Tang-san. That is the spiritual weapon, a 6-winged angel. At that the angel took him in his hands at first and seconds later, everyone could see a great shine that blinded them for a moment. When she opened her eyes later everyone was surprised, plus the dens, to know how pretty she was. I am Qian Renksu. I am Qian Renksu, Issei. I see. You're Bai Bai Dong's daughter, aren't you? Everyone was surprised when they heard that, but when she heard that name she got upset. Issei. I understand now. Qian Renksu? You don't understand anything. You must know that evil energy does not work on me, so you all have the risk of losing more of your Tang-san. Issei. I almost never use my abilities honestly, so it's not necessary. Qian Renksu, upset, tells the seraph to attack, but nothing happened, he was still there. Qian Renksu. What's wrong because you don't attack? I can't, he's stronger than you by a lot. Since it is a high-level weapon I will make it speak. Qian Renksu. So much. Observe. She saw Issei but nothing. Qian Renksu. You tell me how strong you are. Or you just pretend. Issei. If that's what you want, fine. Starting to walk and showing her 2 black rings. Then she went ahead and showed the red one. At the second step another red came out, surprising several since it is the first time they have seen 2. But Issei continued and monstered a third, leaving several with their mouths open. Issei continued and at that moment a 6th ring formed, being golden. Everyone's eyes widened when they saw that ring because they didn't know that such a ring existed. Issei did not take it into account, following her path, forming a 7th ring of dark red gold and then an 8th of dark gray and finally the 9th one of dark green. At that she stopped her pace. By doing so everyone was shocked by such rings. Qian Renksu. How do you possess those rings? They should not exist. Issei. It's the first time I've taken them all out, honestly. Tang-san. Issei, what level are you? She said it surprised. Issei put his hand on her chin to think. Issei. Once I was about to fight a creature, but she gave up and told me that she had a high level and would not be an opponent for him. She told me that it was level 150, a god king or something like that. I really didn't care about it. Everyone had their jaws on the floor when they heard that. Griselda laughed a little when she saw her face. Since Issei always gives them a surprise and he doesn't even realize what he says. Issei. Also, every time he killed a creature, those bones that said your Tang-san appeared. Activating one that is a pair of wings, leaving several surprised. Then I activate one on each leg and each arm and finally on his head. Everyone thought that those spiritual bones were of the best quality. Issei. And when you combine them this happens. It glowed a little and seconds later she began to see black armor. Issei. But I don't like wearing armor almost. Deactivating it. Tang-san. Brother Issei, now that I think about it, what kind of weapon or spirit beast do you have since you never used it? Issei. Oh that. One day I used it and well with just one touch I killed a monster, really, ha 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 ha. Everyone, upon hearing that, could no longer be surprised anymore. Tang-san. We can see. And what's his name? Issei. Before the creature died he said it was a god's killer. Activating the spiritual weapon of him being the same, but a red and gold color while he had his arms crossed. In addition, it had a large size, leaving the seraph like an ant. All the dens, upon feeling such a dominating presence, fainted and the high-level ones could not breathe well. Issei's friends were fine since it didn't affect them. Several could see tremendous dominant form even from afar. Issei made his spirit form disappear and the rings from him, making it so that no one could talk about how surprised they were. Chapter 116. Everything was silence as they wanted to process everything that had happened until someone spoke. Qian Rengsu? How is it possible that you have such a level? I train every day without resting, but you arrive as if nothing had happened. Maybe you don't know what one suffers to reach such a high level. Oh, it's true geniuses like you don't know that. Issei was going to say something, but he heard some footsteps, and those were Griselda who was going towards Qian Rengsu. When she arrives she lifts her off the ground since she was on her knees, and she gives her a big slap. Qian Rengsu? Why did you do that? Griselda? So you can stop talking nonsense. Since you're talking nonsense. You don't know anything about Issei, you don't know what he went through to get to where he is. Qian Rengsu? Don't lie. Griselda approached her and used one of her spells and showed her Issei's childhood. She knew Issei's childhood since Gabriel showed it to her when she was at the faction meeting. Qian Rengsu could see how since he was a child Issei was separated by his family and how over time they did not even speak to him. Later I observed how he was abandoned and decided to improve. He saw how he trained day and night without stopping and how he fought with renegade demons that were rare to her even more in the place he was. In that she saw how he continued training until he grew up and fought harder to improve. At the end, Qian Rengsu didn't know what to say. Griselda. Don't say those words again. Because Issei is the person who has trained the most in his life. Just to show that he could also be strong like the others. Qian Rengsu. But how did he get those rings? Griselda. I don't know that answer. Only he will know. Since Issei doesn't really like to talk about his battles since he is not like other people who boast about his power like you. Qian Rengsu. I must be strong. Griselda. Going down such a path. I don't think you'll get there. You don't deserve to have a seraph taking care of you, it's a disgrace that you use her for evil. Qian Rengsu. What do you know? Griselda. A lot since I have known a friend for a long time who is a seraphim and he is a very kind person. Qian Rengsu. You're not joking. Griselda. No. Since I don't gain anything by lying. But leaving this topic behind, it's better to leave here with your allies. Qian Rengsu. Why don't you just kill me? It's better that way. Griselda. Because it's not my duty. Also, Issei doesn't like unnecessary fights. Turning around and watching as Issei spoke to Tang-san. Qian Rengsu was curious and watched as Issei spoke as if nothing had happened. Qian Rengsu. Because he doesn't boast of his power. Griselda. Because for him that power is not his. Because he thinks he doesn't use it very often. Issei prefers to earn things just as he dresses with effort. But he still thinks that he is not worthy of having such abilities. Although the truth is he is. Qian Rengsu. If it were another person, he would have already destroyed everything in his path. Griselda. Could be. But Issei fights for his loved ones and friends like Tang-san. Qian Rengsu. Because when you talk about him you talk with affection. Griselda. It's because I love him and he has protected me many times in the past. And he is also kind, funny and when you are bored he brightens your day. Qian Rengsu. Aren't you afraid that another woman will arrive? Griselda laughed a little when she heard that. Qian Rengsu. Did I say something wrong? Griselda. If you knew how many women are in love with Issei. Qian Rengsu. And you say it so calmly. All men are equal, they go for any woman who is beautiful. Griselda. Issei didn't go for anyone. The truth is they were on par with him. Since they saw something unique. Something they didn't see in other men. Qian Rengsu. You are someone strange. Griselda. Maybe. But you better go. Qian Rengsu. Because you let me go. Griselda. Because I know the reason why you act like this. It's because of your family, isn't it? Qian Rengsu. How do you know that? Griselda. I don't have time to explain, better go. Qian Rengsu. Fine I'll go, but we'll see you again. Griselda. You are curious. Qian Rengsu did not say anything and called his 2 bodyguards and left the place. Leaving the soldiers there. Issei. Tang-san, you go with your friends. Griselda and I will stay to watch in case something happens. Griselda. I wish you luck. Tang-san just nodded and left with his 2 friends from the place. After a few seconds many soldiers arrived. Issei. Are you ready for some action? But remember don't kill them. Griselda. That's what I should say. Issei just laughed a little and they both went on the attack. Griselda took out her wings, surprising all of her soldiers and then created several spears of light. Issei, for his part, left them unconscious with just 1 blow. Minutes passed and Tang-san and company left the castle and when they looked around they were surprised at how many excited soldiers there were. Issei. Let's go. More will come soon. The others better not ask since they saw his true strength. They all headed to the academy where all their friends and teachers were. After healing Emperor Tang-san a little, he went to the room where his other companions were. Issei. And how is it? Tang-san. He is stable now, but he won't live that long. Issei. I understand. Tang-san. But we will find a solution. Well, with that resolved. Issei, tell me how you got that power. Hongjin. What power? Tang-san. Issei is level 150, he is a god king. Everyone, upon hearing that, was surprised, even the teachers. Issei. Issei, that's true. Issei. Maybe. Tang-san. When we were in the castle he showed us his 9 rings. He has 2 black, 3 red, 1 gold, another black gold and finally a dark green. Everyone had their mouths open knowing that. Tang-san. Also he showed us his spirit beast. Has a lot of power. You. That's why I felt tremendous power coming from there recently. Tang-san. He also has spiritual bones, he has 6 in total and formed a complete armor. Just like Master Issei said. Wrong. Brother Issei, why did you hide your strength? Issei. I don't like depending on the abilities of other creatures or people. Issei, you achieved all of that in these 5 years. Issei. Not at all. That was when I was gone for 2 months. In these 5 years I was relaxed. I only fought less than a year. I spent the rest resting and making some friends. Issei, if so, you could only destroy the spiritual office. Issei. I could but I won't. Because. Issei. Because maybe one day I'll leave and well, maybe you'll suffer the consequences and won't be able to defend yourself. That's why I want them to become strong. So that they can defend themselves. Tang-san. I understand and thank you. Tang-san, you and your group will go to that island to train. You buy. Sure. Difficult days are coming and that is the best place to train. Juking. Sounds good. Issei. Guys, I wish you luck on your journey. Oscar. What do you mean? You won't go with us? Issei. I'll go but I'll get to the city after that. You will continue. Hongjin. But if you go with us it will be easier. Issei. Nothing is easy in life, friend. Everything has a price. And yours will be to fight without stopping. Tang-san. Brother Issei is right. We must achieve ours with effort. Issei. I'm glad to hear that. Well, it's late, I'll go there. Griselda, you come. She just nodded and they both left the place. Griselda. Where are we going? Issei. To the spiritual office. Griselda. What will we do there? Issei. Give a little warning to Bye Dong. Griselda. And he will listen to you. From what you told me last time, she didn't pay attention to you. Issei. Well, we just have to wait. At that Issei started running and Griselda started flying since she couldn't keep up with Issei's speed. After half an hour they both arrived at the place. Griselda. And how are we going to get in? Issei. Leave it to me. Taking Griselda in her arms and starting to run at a great speed that no one noticed. When they did so they ended up in a large place and were surprised to see a person. Issei. This wasn't planned. Griselda. Seriously. At that Issei took her down from her arms. Griselda. Qian Renksu was sooner. Qian Renksu. What are you doing here? Perhaps they come to finish the above. Issei. Not at all. We came to see Bye Dong. So that it doesn't bother you for a while. You are not an ordinary person, your boy. Issei. You are Bye Dong's father, no. It shows that they are a united family. Qian Renksu. Grandpa is the one I told you about. I see. You're a genius the way you listen. Issei. I don't consider myself a genius, really. I'm just an ordinary person. You are very humble. If you continue like this sooner or later you will die. Issei. I see. But even so I'm not going to fight with attitude. But hey, we'll go, I have things to say to Bye Dong since I'm going on a trip later. Qian Renksu. Where will they go? Issei. You are very curious, ha 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 ha. Qian Renksu. And you are very childish. Issei. There's nothing wrong with it. True. Griselda. Griselda. That part of him is cute. Issei. You see she has no problem with my attitude. Qian Renksu. You are a strange person. The other man present looked at this with curiosity since it was the first time he saw his granddaughter talking to another person casually. Issei. Well, leaving that aside, I have to go. Qian Renksu. Hey Issei, why didn't you kill me recently? Issei. You are not a bad person. You're just resentful of your mother and father. That's why you want to govern on your own to show what you're capable of. Qian Renksu. You are not afraid that I will do something to you right now. Issei. If it were like that you would have already done it. Approaching her and putting her hand on her shoulder. Issei. With a smile, you look prettier. So better change a little. Giving him a smile and then leaving the place. Her grandfather approached her and was surprised to see her blushing. It was the first time he looked at her like that since she always acted seriously. Don't tell me that, boy. Hearing what she was going to say, she shook her head and left the place. Upon arriving with Bye Dong, Issei also noticed those other 2 people. Issei. And here we are again. Bye Dong. You have the courage to enter here again. Issei. Recently I also talked to your daughter. Bye Dong. I see. Issei. Okay. I just came to tell you to stop or else you will suffer the consequences. I by Dong. You alone won't be able to defeat all of us. These 5 years have not been in vain. Griselda. He never fights alone. I will always be supporting him. I by Dong. It doesn't matter. Soon everything will be destroyed and the spiritual office will take control. Issei. I just warned you. Hang San and his friends will come for you. I by Dong. And you think I'm afraid of those brats? Issei. Maybe. But I'm just saying. Well, with this clear, I'll leave. Walking to the exit. I by Dong did nothing since he thought that he had also improved in those 5 years. Griselda. Because you always get into trouble. Issei. They are my friends. Griselda. I know what you are, Issei. Taking her hand and both leaving the place. The next day everyone was gathered in the center of the academy with Ning and his partner, Du Luo. Hongjin. Wait, don't tell me we're going to fight him. Ning. That's right. You are going to a very dangerous place and it is better to be prepared. Since young Issei does not accompany them on their trips. Issei. Guys, I wish you luck. They have to be strong. Rong. We will be brother Issei. Issei just nodded and left to watch his fight. At that point the battle began where they indicated well, but in the end their level was low since the person used an 8th skill. Issei. It wasn't bad guys. You buy. But if you were you would have won easily. Issei. Nobody knows. Well, we'll be leaving soon so get ready. They just nodded and left the place. In the afternoon everyone said goodbye and headed towards the island. With one more person who is the granddaughter of the leader of the Speed clan. Issei. Well, since we are going by carriage, it will take us a week to get there. Rong. Brother Issei, how long does it take you to arrive? Issei. Like 5 hours. Tang-san. How fast are you going? Issei. No idea. They talked a little to kill time and 2 days passed where Hongjin tried to talk to the purple-haired girl but nothing. It was night and Issei was walking in the middle of the forest while he kept watch. Issei. It's a surprise that you are following us, Qian Renksu. You tell me why. At that she came down from a tree. Qian Renksu. Because I would have to tell you. Looking away. Issei. You're not at Sundeer. Qian Renksu. Who do you call that? Issei. I don't see another person present so here. Qian Renksu. You have no manners. Issei. Leaving that aside. Tell me what you're doing here. Qian Renksu. I was a little curious about where they would go. Maybe it's the place where you became this strong. Issei. I see. Let's go to the island of the sea god. Qian Renksu. But that is a very dangerous place, no one leaves alive. Several from the spiritual office have gone and never returned. Issei. It's no big deal. But I am only accompanying them since I will not go to that island. I have to explore more. Qian Renksu. Don't you want to get stronger? Issei. Not until I break my own limits. Maybe then I started training like before. Qian Renksu. I understand. Issei. But if you want to become strong you should come too. Qian Renksu. You must know that we are enemies. Issei. Not from me. So don't take it seriously. She was going to say something, but Issei took her hand and led her away with the rest. Issei. Guys, I brought a friend. They turned around and were more surprised by Tang-san since she knew her and Hongjin had her eyes widened by her beauty. Tang-san. Brother Issei, what is she doing here? Issei. Not long ago I went to the spiritual office and well I ran into her and we talked about her and I invited her. She didn't understand why she lied. Tang-san. But she is an enemy. Issei. Don't worry. I will take care of her with Griselda. Qian Renksu. Because you treat me like a child. Issei. Don't worry about him. Qian Renksu. How not to? Tang-san. Well, if you watch her, it's fine. Issei. Sure. At that I guide her with the rest of her and sit her next to Griselda who gave her a smile. Griselda. You want to know more about Issei? No. Qian Renksu. What the hell are you talking about? Griselda. Ami, don't lie to me. Qian Renksu. Don't talk nonsense. Griselda laughed a little at her attitude. At that the group continued with its trip. On their way they crossed paths with some bandits, but when they saw Issei they ran away quickly since they knew about him. One day they passed through a town where there were wolves killing people. Some went to help while Issei stayed to take care. Issei. And how was the trip? Qian Renksu. Well I would say. Issei. Be more honest. Qian Renksu. I speak the truth. Griselda. Issei, where will we go after we leave them? Issei. Anywhere. It is better to know unknown places. Griselda. You're always like that. Issei just laughed a little. After a few minutes the others arrived. Someone was going to say something, but at that moment what Issei had been waiting for appeared. Issei. After so much time I will be able to go home. Griselda. It's what happened that time. Issei. Yes. It's time. Turning around and seeing her friends. Issei. This is farewell friends. Or rather brothers. Tang-san. Where are you going? Issei. To my house, well I hope so. Eyes, be strong. Many things await you in the future. I had fun this time. Thanks Anne. I see. All I can say is have a good trip brother. Approaching Issei and giving him a hug. Like the others, the last one was Xiao Wu who even accidentally shed a tear. Qian Rengsu? You will leave just like that. Issei. Oh that's true. Approaching her and giving her a hug as well. Issei. Take care of yourself. Do not do stupid things. Qian Rengsu? You said you would always watch over me so I'll go. Issei was going to say something, but Qian Rengsu took him by the hand and guided him to the portal. Griselda laughed a little and said goodbye to her friends and left with them. When she entered she closed herself. Issei. What happened? Because your family came? Qian Rengsu? I only had my grandfather and well I said goodbye to him. Long time. Issei. You won't regret it. Qian Rengsu? Don't you think it's too late to say that? Issei. True, you are right. Griselda. Well, leaving that aside. I think we'll go home now. The girls will be happy to see you. Issei. I also want to see them. It's been so long already. Qian Rengsu don't go causing trouble okay. Qian Rengsu? Because you talk to me like I'm a girl. You should know I'm older than you. Issei. Age doesn't matter, attitude does. Qian Rengsu? If we talk about attitude, you're the childish one for acting so childish. Griselda better interrupted so you wouldn't continue and Issei turned around as did Qian Rengsu. But she had a smile on her face from how funny she was. After a few minutes the three saw a light. Issei had his eyes closed when he came out of it but he didn't care. As she left she raised her hands and screamed. Issei. I'm home. At that, a fist collided with her face, but Issei didn't even move. Both girls were shocked by that attack and looked around and saw destruction. Griselda. I think you're wrong. Issei looked around too and noticed that it wasn't her house. Chapter 117. Issei looked to the sides and saw an injured person. And more and I notice many people unconscious. At that she puts on a serious face and removes the fist that was in her face. Issei moved a little closer to the injured man. Issei. You're fine sir. Boy, get out of here, this is no place for you to be. It's very dangerous. Issei. You're injured and I can't go like this. In addition, we must help those people who are unconscious. Go away. That person is powerful. Just then Issei turns around and sees a faceless man. Issei. What happened to your face? Who is he? He is all for one. All for one? Since you're still alive, that blow must have killed you. Issei. Lucky maybe. Griselda. You always say the same thing. Issei. Girls, I want to ask you a favor. Griselda. You don't need to say it. Qian Rengsu come with me to help the injured. Qian Rengsu. Good. Issei. Old man, you go too. Without waiting for a response, he headed towards her rival. All for one. I don't know if you are very brave or very stupid. Issei. Half and half. But I can't let someone like you leave here without something happening to him. You caused a lot of damage and I will not forgive you for that. All for one. And what will you do? I can't sense any quirk in you. Issei didn't answer and for a second he was in front of him, punching him in the stomach, sending him to heaven. As he fell, Issei gave him another blow that sent him crashing into the rubble. Minutes later he was climbing out of the rubble as he recovered. All for one. Not bad. But it will not be enough to determine. Issei. I see. Seeing how all for one was coming towards him. At that Issei deflects the attack from him and takes his hand and breaks it, making him scream in pain. While the girls help the others to get the citizens out. Qian Rengsu. I should go help him. Griselda. He's fine, don't worry. At that point they approached a person. Griselda. You're the gentleman from a while ago. He looks very hurt. I'm fine but who are you and how did you get here? Griselda. We were on our way home, but we ended up here by mistake. How is that boy so strong? Maybe he has a strength quirk. Griselda. Issei has trained for many years. Excuse me but who are you? They know me as All Might. Qian Rengsu. Because he is blowing smoke. All Might. I reached my limit. I can't maintain this form for long. And I don't want other people to see me like that. Qian Rengsu. Because. All Might. If you see me in my weak form, they will lose faith in me. Griselda. Resist as much as you can. Issei will finish soon. Turning around and seeing Issei. All for one. Air cannon. Throwing several air balls towards Issei, but he just deflected them and went towards him. When he was close he gave her another blow to the face, destroying the rest of the mask. All for one annoyed he put all his strength in just one hand and went to attack Issei. But Issei stopped his fist with his hand. Issei. That's all you have. Tightening her grip on him. I made All for one elicit some moans of pain. All for one. How come you have that strength? Not even All Might's is like that. Issei. I trained very hard. Using his other hand and making a fist. Hitting him squarely in the face. He left him embedded in the ground and unconscious. Seeing that he wasn't moving, Issei went to where the two girls were. All Might. Who are you? Issei. My name is Issei, a pleasure. All Might. That's not what I mean. Maybe you have a strength quirk. Issei. What is that? All Might. You're kidding, right? Issei. Not really. We come from a remote place. And we arrived here by chance. But leaving that topic aside, what happened with that guy there? All Might. He will be locked up for life. Issei. I see. As I noticed, more people came. So we have to go. All Might. Wait, you can join me for a moment so you can give your statement. Also, since they don't have a place to stay, I could help with that. Issei. It's not necessary. All Might. It's the least I can do. Issei. Well, that's how it goes. Helping All Might get up and the four headed off. Without knowing that they were recorded and almost everyone saw their battle, leaving several surprised. Days passed and the news spread, and also that All Might was retiring from duty. Issei and the two girls were taken to a hotel to be there for the meantime. Kian Renksu. I'm already bored of being here. Issei. Same, but we will have to wait. You must know that we came from nothing. Griselda. Also Issei's fight caused many to wonder who he was. Kian Renksu. You're right. We've only just arrived and you've already caused a scandal. Issei. I don't care. There were injured people in that place. Griselda. We know it and neither of us are upset. Only now we don't know what's going to happen. But they know it's the best. Kian Renksu. What a thing. Issei. We are in a world of heroes. That's great. Griselda. But you are already a hero where we come from. Better said, in several parts you are a hero. Issei. I don't know. All Might said he would come today to give us good news. Maybe we can go out now. And just as Issei said, someone came and knocked on the door and it was All Might in his weak form. Issei. Toshinori, how are you? Toshinori. Good. Sorry for taking so long, but I had a lot of things to do and well I finally have it all resolved. Griselda. What happened? Toshinori. The three of them are students at the UA Academy. The three of them were surprised to hear that. Griselda. But we are too old to go there. Toshinori. I know, but from what they told me about their world they could use magic. Although Issei looks young, still the same as Kian Renksu. Griselda. And me. Toshinori was going to say something, but he saw Griselda's serious face. Toshinori. Just a little older. Griselda. Well, it doesn't matter, I'll use a spell. Issei. And what will we do in that academy? Toshinori. Well, first they will have to move there since there are some apartments that have been built. And second, they will be new students and invent something. Issei. Wow, you're great. And thanks for the help. Toshinori. Thanks to you. For the above. Kian Renksu. And when we started. Toshinori. In a week they will be in class 1A. Issei. Don't tell me, it's the best class, no. He just nodded. Toshinori. And you also have to agree on which ability to use as a quirk. Issei. I only have my strength. Griselda. I will use spears of light. Kian Renksu. I'll just say that I can fly. Taking out the 4 golden wings from her. Toshinori was surprised at how cute they were. Toshinori. Well, with that said, I will come in a week to guide you to the academy. Issei. Okay, see you. He just nodded and left the place. Issei. An academy for heroes is great, isn't it? Kian Renksu. You are very excited. Issei. I will be able to see amazing powers. Griselda. Issei has seen everything and this surprises you. Issei. What can I say? That's how the days passed until the moment arrived where it would be his first day of school. Chapter 118. The three of them were in front of the door of their living room waiting for him to knock. Issei. I was in second year before and now I'm in first year again. Griselda. But you hardly even went to the academy. Issei. I went very often before, but since my brothers arrived everything changed. It is as if problems accompany them. Griselda. You regret being in all this. Issei. Not at all. If it were up to them I wouldn't have met any of you. Maybe Kian Renksu was planning something against my brother Tang-san right now. Kian Renksu? Maybe. Issei. See, I told you. And maybe your Griselda right now was with Gabriel or on a mission. Griselda. Just with your presence you changed many things. That's when they make their call and Issei opens the door and the three of them enter, seeing the students. Issei for his part was surprised and he saw many people with a unique appearance. Issei noticed that and let out a sigh. Griselda thoughts. How can this impress you? If you have seen unique things. I am Shimda Izawa, his teacher at the moment. Please introduce yourselves. Issei. Nice to everyone, my name is Issei, I hope we get along well. Griselda. I'm Griselda Korda. We will take care of her. Kian Renksu. My name is Kian Renksu, my pleasure. Everyone was surprised since they knew about Issei. Since he appeared out of nowhere and fought a powerful villain alone. Also, the boys' mouths were open because of the beauty of both girls, plus a person with grape hair. At that someone raised his hand. Where are you all? Griselda. I'm from Italy. Kian Renksu. From China. Issei. From here. How did they meet? Griselda. We just crossed paths and over time we got along well. They have boyfriends. It was said by a gray pair that even drooled. Qian Renksu. Obviously. Griselda. Yes. Wait, now I remember you two have a last name, but why doesn't he? Issei. I never had one, so you can call me by my name. Izawa. Good. Class representative. Hi. I'm Tenyalita. If you have a question, tell me. The three nodded and went to their position. That's when classes started and Issei noticed that they were normal classes. Issei was about to fall asleep until he heard something. Izawa. As you know, Class 1A will take the exams to obtain the provisional hero license. So you must prepare. Issei. Sensei, I have a question. Izawa. Yes, what happens? Issei. We can take that exam too. Izawa. Since they entered this room they already belong to the class, so yes. Issei. Great. Izawa. But first of all you must learn to do special attacks. The whole class was happy to hear that. Thus then three teachers entered, a woman, a cement man and another man with a coat. A special attack that helps them win the battle. A unique move that no one can copy. Izawa. Okay. You heard them, so put on your suits and go to the gym. Everyone was happy and ran away quickly. Exactly 3 people. Issei. Yes, they are excited. Qian Renksu. And you don't. Issei. Of course. But we don't have those suits. Griselda. We still don't need it. So let's go like this. Issei. Okay, let's go. Leaving the room and heading to the gym. Minutes later everyone was gathered there. The cement man created several columns among other things so that they could train. It can't always be an attack, but your special ability can be helpful or supportive, so don't put pressure on yourself. Izawa. All of you will be trained non-stop. These days until the exam arrives, so I wish you luck. At that point everyone went to train. Exactly 3 people. Izawa. Something's wrong because you guys aren't going. Issei. I have no idea what to invent. Griselda. You have an arsenal of tricks. Izawa. But you still have to participate. Qian Renksu. If we finish this quickly we can leave. Izawa. Sure. Qian Renksu. Good. You two do this quickly to do other things. Issei. Okay. Much faster is better. Who goes first? Griselda. I'll do it. Taking a few steps forward. Griselda. Well, I control, let's say the light. So. But that he created a golden sword, leaving the teachers surprised. Then I create a spear. Griselda. I think that would be enough. Returning to his position. At that Qian Renksu stepped forward and took out her 4 golden wings, surprising the teachers. At that he took flight and dropped 2 feathers that exploded when they hit the ground. When he finished he returned to his position. Qian Renksu. No one would expect that. Issei. Great. Now is my turn. Taking a step forward. Issei. Well, what do I do? Thinking a little. Issei. You Mr. Cement could create the best block. Cement. Good, but why? Issei. You'll see. And that he creates the strongest cement and showed it to Issei. Issei. He can hold it well. He just nodded and Issei got into position. As he approached he was about to punch him, but he only used 1 finger. As he did so he exploded the cement block, sending the teacher flying. Leaving it crashed on one of his walls. The remaining teachers didn't know what to say. And the students were surprised by what he did. Issei. It's not much but something to nothing. Izawa. You guys have so much experience on the battlefield. Plus you Issei. Issei. Not much, I don't fight very often. Izawa. You have a quirk similar to All Might's. Which is pure strength. Issei. That's what they told me. But well, leaving aside what he tells us, we pass. Izawa. Yes. You can go now. Qian Renksu. Well, let's go. Issei. You can come forward, I want to see your movements. Griselda. Okay, see you later. Issei just nodded and the 2 of them left. Issei saw someone and went to him. Issei. So you are. You are that person who fought against All for One, you are incredible. Issei. Thank you. Oh yes, my name is Izuku Midoriya. Issei. I know. Ashinori told me about you. Midoriya. I see. So. Issei. He told me your situation and well I will help you a little. From what he told me, you don't know how to control your power very well. Midoriya. The most I can use is 10% without my hands getting hurt. Issei. I see, let me see them. Midoriya took off his gloves and Issei could see several scars. Issei. It's obvious that you're having a hard time. Your body can't handle that much power. Midoriya. I know. And how did you manage to control yourself? Issei. I just trained and my body adapted. But he also suffered at the beginning. But well, I'll go, I wish you luck. Midoriya. Wait, you weren't going to help me. Issei. Yes, but first you must change one thing. Midoriya. And that would be. At that Issei approaches and puts his hand on her shoulder. Issei. You're not All Might. You must find your own fighting style, you cannot copy it. When you have that figured out, I will help you train. At the end of that she left the place, leaving Midoriya thinking. Issei walked towards the exit until she saw the skeleton. Issei. How are you? Toshinori. Much better than before. I could tell you talked to my student. Issei. He is a good boy. Toshinori. And you will help him. Issei. Sure, but first I want to see his new style. Toshinori. So that's what you told him. Issei. Yes. But he will make it because he is smart. Well, see you, I have to see the girls. The place filled up and Toshinori went to Izawa so they could talk. Chapter 119. 2 days had passed and Issei rested in his room waiting for Midoriya to get better a little. Kanrenksu. It's rare to see you so calm. Issei. Once in a while it's good to relax. Griselda. That's not very normal about you. Since you haven't been to see them train in these 2 days. Issei. I'm waiting for something and well I think it's time. Griselda. You will really help that boy. Issei. Yes I will. I can see his desire to help his friends. Kanrenksu. I wish you luck. Issei. Thank you. Filling the room, leaving only the girls who began to talk. When Issei arrived, he noticed how a large piece of rock was going to fall, where All Might was, he was going to go, but he noticed Midoriya and saw how he destroyed it with a kick. Issei. So you found your style. I'm happy for you. Going were they? Issei. You did great. Midoriya. Well I'm still testing, but this is already a step. Issei. That's right. Now you need to strengthen those legs and be able to create a fighting style. Midoriya. That won't be so easy. Issei. I can show you one if you want, but you must be quick yes. Midoriya nodded quickly. At that Issei separated a little while the teachers watched as did all the students since they were curious. At that Issei approached Midoriya and jumped, wanting to kick him, but Midoriya instinctively crouched down, but he didn't expect Issei to hit him with his other leg, causing him to fall to the ground from the blow. Some were surprised to see that. Issei. You were careless. Midoriya. I didn't think you'd use the other leg. Issei. That's the idea of using both. But I'm more of a fist person. You want to see. Midoriya nodded quickly. Issei. Cement, could you send me some pieces? He just nodded and created 3 pieces and sent them towards Issei. When they were about to arrive, Issei destroyed them all with his fists, leaving only dust. Midoriya. Great. Issei. When you control your power to 100 you will be able to use your arms again. And when that day comes you will be very strong. Midoriya just nodded happily. While another person was upset hearing that. You won't be stronger than me Deku, you'll see. At that Issei left Midoriya to train and went to the teachers. Toshinori. It was good. Issei. Thank you. Izawa. When you go get your suit. Issei. I don't need that. I like my normal clothes. Izawa. Everyone must wear a suit. Issei. Fine but I already have one. I don't know if it helps. Toshinori. We can see it. Issei. Sure. Taking off the necklace he had so he couldn't touch the glass. At that he throws it into the air. Issei. 100 on. Activating his armor. The teachers had their mouths open when they saw that, as did some students when they saw it. At that Issei deactivates it. Issei. And that counts. Izawa. Where did you get it from and how do you keep it there? Issei. An acquaintance gave it to me a long time ago, I think more than 6 years ago. Toshinori. It's a good suit. But it doesn't make it difficult for you when it comes to fighting. Issei. Not at all. Plus I don't usually use it. But well, let's leave that topic and see how the others are doing. Turning around and watching the boys train. The day passes and everyone returns to their dorm to rest. Griselda. You girls have trained very hard. Momo. Yes. But you 3 did it from day 1. Griselda. We started at a very young age, so it wasn't much. Asui. I would like to learn as quickly as you do. But that boy Issei is great, he has great strength. Griselda. Yes, he is very strong. Asui. And how are you doing Ichako? Seeing her but she didn't get a response until she touched her shoulder and she jumped. Momo. You're fine. Ichako. Oh yeah. She was just thinking. Asui. You already have your special move. Ichako. No, it's not just that I've been feeling anxious these days. Mina. It will be love. When she heard that, she blushed and was startled. Ichako. What ardor, fear, clamor. Of course it's not that. Mina. Maybe it's Midori or Lita since you spend more time with them. Ichako. It has nothing to do with that at all. So stop bothering yes. She said it with her face covered while she was floating. Mina. And you too. Tell me who loves Issei the most. Griselda. I love it because of who she is. Kanrenksu. Just like she said. Mina. How boring you don't give details. Griselda. It's better not to say much. Besides, it's already late, you should go rest tomorrow, you'll have a very difficult day. Momo. But you will also participate. Maybe they're not nervous. Kanrenksu. This won't be that difficult at all. Griselda. Don't trust yourself, you remember that occasion. You boasted so much until you saw Issei. Can Renksu? And how would she know that there would be such a monster nearby? Griselda. That's why I tell you, surprises always come out. But well, leaving this behind, we have to go. The other girls nodded and went to their room to rest. The next day the whole group was outside the stadium, some were very nervous about the test, and others were excited. That's when they saw other academies pass by them. That boy studies there. This won't be easy at all. You're right, you don't have to mess with him. But he looks at those two blondes, they are very beautiful. He had never seen such pretty girls. You're right. Maybe after this he will ask for his number. Me too. And so the whispers continued that only 3 people heard perfectly. Can Renksu? How disgusting they are. Issei. Don't worry, some of them are like that. And if they come close, I'll take care of it since I'm afraid you'll kill them. Can Renksu? Obviously yes. I hate that they talk like that. I hate men who only look at appearance. Griselda. That's how most of them are, with time you get used to it. The truth is, the more place we come from. The good thing about the place where you come from, no one spoke to you like that. Can Renksu? Of course not. Since they knew the consequences of messing with someone stronger. Issei. Hey Qian Renksu, I have a gift for you. Qian Renksu? And that. Issei. Well, I killed some creatures and well, you know, I have my spiritual bones, but I also have others. I'll give you some later. I know you're strong, but I don't want someone to hurt you. Qian Renksu. Thank you. Taking Issei's hand and giving him a smile. Qian Renksu. With that I will improve more. The bad thing is that now I won't be able to get any more rings. Issei. You continue cultivating and when you reach another level, tell me and I will give you one of my rings. Qian Renksu. But that's impossible, if you do that you could die. Issei. I found a way. Before I came I was going to give one to Tang-san, but I forgot in my rush. So level up and I'll give you one. Qian Renksu. That's how it will be. You'll see, I will also reach the same level as you. Issei just nodded and with that everyone headed towards the competition. After a few minutes everyone was gathered in a large room already dressed in their suits. Issei for his part wore normal clothes just like the girls, since they didn't like the idea of designing something. Since the two of them already had their own suits, but it was not necessary to use them for those things. Just then a man arrived, all tired, and explained the rules. After that, everyone went to the battlefield where they had buttons on their bodies, 3 in total. If 3 balls hit those buttons he will be eliminated. Issei. This will be exciting. Midoriya. Aren't you afraid of failure? Issei. You know Midoriya, one doesn't need a license to prove that you're a hero. The actions you take make you one. That's why I'm not afraid since I don't have the need to win this. I do it for fun, but I wish you luck. Leaving the place since the test had begun. Chapter 120. At the beginning everyone went against the UA Academy since they knew their abilities. They went for the students, exactly 3 people. They didn't go for Issei since they knew of his strength and didn't want to mess with him, and for the girls because they didn't know about his abilities. At the moment there are already 4 disqualified. All the students upon hearing that were surprised, as were the teachers, since 2 people passed by. This Griselda Korda and Qian Renksu are the first to advance to the round. Aizawa. You can tell they don't want to waste time. Hey Aizawa, those 2 girls are from your class. How strong are they that they finished so quickly? Aizawa. I don't know their full strength, but they have unique abilities. But they are nothing compared to the boy who is in their group. Don't tell me that that boy who defeated that villain is in your class. Aizawa. That's right. And I can assure you that his strength surpasses that of All Might. That's impossible, All Might is the #1 hero. Aizawa. I know. But that boy hides his power very well, plus my ability doesn't work with him. Wait, that's impossible, you can cancel anyone's power just by seeing them. Aizawa. Something won't let me cancel it. But it's strange that he hasn't already won. Or maybe he wants to see the fights. Could be. Seeing some explosions. While Issei walked through a city alone since she had not crossed paths with anyone. Issei. This is boring, no one comes. She continued on her way until she crossed paths with a boy. Issei. Great. You are ready for the fight. When the boy saw Issei, he dropped the ball he had. I give up, you win. I saw your fight on TV, I'm no match for you. Issei. That's not fun, so you better leave. The boy nodded quickly and left the place like lightning. Issei continued on his way. Griselda. Issei must be seeing the skills of those boys. Qian Renksu. He is very curious about some things. Griselda. It's always been like that. Tell me you don't regret coming with us. Qian Renksu. Not at all. I never had a good relationship with my mother. Furthermore, she had already taken a disciple to train and make her the next pope. Griselda. I see. Qian Renksu. Tell me, Griselda, why Issei didn't take revenge on his parents or brothers for what they did to him. Griselda. He just said that he wouldn't gain anything from it. Besides, he was going to show that he would become strong, and now you know the result. Qian Rengsu. I think he went too far hahaha. Griselda. And I believe that he will continue to increase his power. But you know it's the best thing about Issei. Qian Rengsu. What? Griselda. Issei is not like other people, he does not boast of his power. Not like his brother. He is very arrogant just for having the power of the Emperor Dragon. And now he thinks he's stronger just because he's a high-class demon. Qian Rengsu. I hate conceited people. Griselda. He wants to form an all-female team. And several times he has tried to harass some of Issei's acquaintances, but they refuse since they know what he is like. That boy just wants to hurt Issei. Qian Rengsu. Because Issei didn't kill him. Griselda. I don't know. Issei is someone who is sensitive at times. Besides, at the moment that boy has not done anything bad. But if he betrays the alliance, perhaps at that moment Issei will take the reins. Qian Rengsu. I see. They talked for a bit while they waited for the others to finish. As Issei walked he entered the rocky terrain and in the distance he saw Midoriya and he was surrounded. Without wasting time he took a big leap and landed close to him. Issei. Yes, you are popular, friend. Midoriya. The other academies want to eliminate us separately. That's why they separated us since we were together before. Issei. I understand. Then who will fight with me? Several people got nervous when they saw Issei and some left. You are an interesting boy. At that Issei looks at the girl who was wearing a black suit very close to her body. Issei. Who are you? I'm Kami Utsushimi. Nice to meet you Issei. Issei. I see. But I want to know your real name. Kami? What do you mean? Issei approached her. Issei. This is not your true appearance. You hide your aura. Upon hearing that, she jumped back and became serious. Kami? How come? Issei. It's hard for me to detect those things. But I'll have to get used to it since I only recently had this ability. And well who you are. She just gave him a smile and left the place. Issei. Wow, he escaped. Midoriya. Issei, we have to finish this quickly, there are fewer and fewer students. So I'll go ahead. Take care of yourself. Issei. I say the same. Just then Midoriya left. Issei. Well I have to finish this quickly or else the girls will get angry for taking so long. At that moment, Issei saw a group in the distance and jumped and landed near them. When they saw Issei they got scared, but Issei didn't let them escape, eliminating two and moving on to the next round. At that point he returned to the waiting room where the two girls were talking. Issei. How are you girls? Qian Rengsu. Don't think you took too long. Issei. I saw truly amazing powers. And well, no one wanted to fight me. Griselda. Almost everyone knows about you Issei so it's normal. Since you defeated a very dangerous villain without much difficulty. Issei. I know. Now we just have to wait for the others to finish. Taking a seat and leaning against the wall. Qian Rengsu. Issei why don't you get some sleep? While the others finish. Issei. It's difficult like this. At that Qian Rengsu took Issei by the head and laid him on her lap. Qian Rengsu. You won't always have this opportunity. Issei. Thank you. Closing his eyes. While Qian Rengsu stroked her hair and continued talking to Griselda. Minutes passed and more students began to arrive. Time continued to advance until everyone was gathered. Those from the UA Academy went to where the two girls were and when they saw Issei asleep, a drop of sweat fell on them since they did not notice his calmness despite the situation they were in. But one person was crying blood when he saw how Issei slept on the legs of a beautiful girl. Mineta. Issei I praise you for having such luck. You're right friend. Who wouldn't want to be in her position? Mineta. Tell me, Corta-san, could I lie down a little? I'm a little tired and there are no more seats available. Griselda. I see. Mineta was happy to hear that but noticed how Griselda got up from her seat. Griselda. Take a seat and relax. Some of her friends laughed when they saw that. Qian Rengsu. Issei it's rising time. Issei. 5 more minutes. Qian Rengsu. Now. At that Issei got up from his seat and stretched, cracking several of his bones that some managed to hear. Momo. It didn't hurt to do that. Issei. I do it from time to time and it feels good. That's when the person in charge spoke and he said what his next mission would be. Chapter 121. Your next mission will be your last, it will be a rescue one. There are professional people. They will give you the points if you have the necessary ones to pass the test. You have 10 minutes to get ready, you can go to the bathroom or whatever. Transmission finished. At that point, several met with their companions to make a plan. Issei. Wow, they are serious. Griselda. Well this defines if they are semi-professional. So they will give it their all. Issei. Well if so. You also have to give everything to pass. Qian Rengsu. This won't be so difficult. Minutes passed and the test began. Everyone ran away quickly. Griselda. This will be a long day. Qian Rengsu. I know. Issei. Come on girls, we have to help the injured. They just nodded and headed towards some destroyed buildings. When they arrived they heard a voice and 3 went and there was a wounded man. Issei. You can see if he's hurt. I'll see the surroundings. Griselda. Good. Approaching the person and seeing if he had any damage. The man blushed when he saw Griselda because of how pretty she was that he didn't know what to say. Griselda. Everything is fine. Just a few bumps, nothing serious. Issei. Good. Can Renksu take him to the safe zone please? She just nodded and took out her wings and took the man away. Seconds later she was back. Can Renksu? That's how it will always be. Issei. These people will give us the points. So you have to treat them well. Like in a real situation. Clenching his fists and remembering what happened in Asgard. Griselda noticed this and approached Issei and took his hand. Since she knew very well what happened there. Griselda. Issei, don't blame yourself. You did your best in that situation. Plus that was the only time it happened. Issei. I know. Griselda just nodded and Issei started walking in search of another injured person. Can Renksu? Because he became like this. Griselda. It's a bit of a long story, I'll tell you later, yes. Can Renksu nodded and they both continued with their mission. The supervisor watched everything and saw that everything was going well. But he was surprised to learn that 3 people had already settled several people and only gave them a perfect score. What's happening here? They informed us that when they were rescued, they did everything required with a smile and calmness. And also that all 3 people are very handsome. They got carried away by appearances, but hey it doesn't matter. Just for them to finish. Letting out a big sigh as he was sleepy. Minutes passed and everything was going well until the supervisor spoke. There was a terrorist attack by the villains, what will they do now? Several explosions were heard and some were surprised to see one of the best Gang Orca heroes there. At that one of the boys went to attack but Gang Orca used his uniqueness, which is ultrasound, leaving the boy unconscious. While the others evacuated the civilians Todoroki and Urashi faced Gang Orca, but Urashi had a serious look at Todoroki. At that Todoroki used his fire ability against the Orca, but Urashi used his wind ability causing them to collide and deflect the attack. At that point they both began to argue. Issei. You should know the situation we are in and you do that. Todoroki. The beginning. I arrived first. Urashi. Shut up and better go, I can do it alone. Issei. They're both just stupid. Letting out a sigh he walked towards Todoroki and when he was in front of him he hit him on the back of the head, making him fall unconscious. Then he went against Urashi and jumped, appearing behind him, giving him another blow to the back of the head. Everyone was surprised since he knocked out his companions. Issei. Instead of helping, you two only cause more problems. Lida, take those 2. I take care of the Orca and his team. Lida. Good. Picking up his partner Todoroki and taking him first. Issei. Sorry for wasting your time. Orca. Maybe you plan to fight alone. Issei. I have nothing to lose by trying to do it. The others are already busy carrying away the wounded, I'll stop you. At that the Orca sent her servants to attack. And Issei with a few kicks defeated them all without much difficulty. Issei. Come. We are just getting started. Several went on the attack, but Issei defeated them without any effort. While some men in black were pointing out what Issei and the others were doing and were surprised at his fighting ability. It's as if he had fought all his life. What kind of training did you do? About 5 minutes passed and all the servants had been defeated, emanating only to the Orca. Orca. It wasn't bad but not with me. Issei. Let's see. That's when the Orca used her supersonic ability against Issei. But for his part he began to walk without it affecting him. Issei. Not bad. It's my turn too. Dragon King's first roar skill. Letting out a huge roar that scared several and gave some a chill. When he did so, the Orca flew away, becoming embedded in a wall. Issei without wasting time went to the Orca and with the belt he was wearing he tied her hands. Issei. I expected more from you, honestly. Can Renksu? You ask a lot Issei. Issei. I know and how are the others? Can Renksu? Well, everyone is safe now. But you left another great impression. Issei. Don't worry about him. Griselda. With this we end all this, no. Issei. I think so. After that the supervisor arrived and showed a screen with the names of those approved. But this I conclude all this. And one more thing, congratulations to 3 people for having the best rescue record. Which are Griselda Quarta, Can Renksu and Issei. They were all positive points, congratulations. At the end of that, he left the place while other students were happy to pass the test. The days passed and everything was normal, they went to classes and trained. Griselda. Issei, you've realized that's not the case. Issei. I know Griselda. This is all getting very ugly. Can Renksu? What's going on? Issei. There are more and more villains and fewer heroes. Can Renksu? And what will we do? You must have a plan. Issei. In this world it is forbidden to kill bad guys so we can't do much. Plus we are students. Griselda. But we can stop being them. Issei. Maybe. But hey, that doesn't matter. At the end of classes we will go to arrest some people. Renksu. And what will we do when we defeat them? Issei. We will leave you at the police station. Griselda. So. I'm ready. Renksu. Me too. Issei. It's going to be a long day. After that short talk, all the students went to the patio since the director had something to tell them. Director. We are going through a lot of problems right now after All Might's retirement. There is a lot of danger outside, so be careful when going out, and if you do, go out in groups. At that time, other teachers came by to give a warning since some students got into a fight at night, Bakugo and Midoriya. After that everyone returns to their classrooms. When Izawa arrives, he explains to them about the hero's residence where they can participate outside of school. Izawa. It's difficult for them to recruit first years, but I still wish them luck. Well, with that said, let's start the class. And so passing the day. In the afternoon everyone was resting at the residence while 3 people went out to the city to stop some villains. Chapter 122. The next day on the news they reported that many villains were left outside the police station and they still don't know who left them there. Issei. Wow, it was a long night. Renksu. And horrible, every time we ran into a guy they came out with those words. Issei. But in the end they were arrested. Renksu. Thanks to you who gave them a big beating for me. Griselda. I think you went too far. Issei. Let's leave that topic and better go to class. Leaving the building and heading to the academy. After a few minutes everyone was already present except Bakugo, who was punished. Izawa. Well, now I'm going to introduce you to third-year students who can participate in missions as heroes. At that point 3 people entered the room. Izawa. They are the big 3 of the academy. Nice to meet you guys, I'm Mirio Tagata. I'm Nijire Hado, I hope we get along well. Tamaki Amajiki. The most surprised was Midoriya when he recognized the blonde since she had seen him the day before. Most of them were surprised to meet them since they were the strongest in the UA Academy. Someone was going to say something, but Nijire started asking everyone in class a lot of questions until she got to a certain "excuse me. Nijire. And you're Issei. One of the strongest, is a pleasure to meet you. How did you get so strong? Because you have long hair. Because as they told me you don't have a suit because. Issei only had a drop of sweat when he heard so many things and they didn't let him respond. At that he got up from his seat and covered her mouth with his hand. Issei. Calm down, and your questions. I trained a lot, since I was little I have had this long hair so I got used to it, and the last thing is because it is not necessary. Happy? She nodded quickly and returned to her group. Some were surprised by what she did while Mineta was jealous since he touched her. After a few minutes and Mirio speaking, he challenged everyone to fight him. Midoriya. This is good. Issei. Relax and give it your all. I wish you luck. Midoriya. And you're not going to fight. Issei. You can. Leaving the place to watch the fight with the other 2 students and Izawa and the 2 girls. Nijire. Because you don't participate. Issei. I want to see how my teammates fight first. Nijire. You think they're going to win? Issei. Of course not. Nijire. I thought you would say yes. Issei. You are the strongest in this academy for no reason. If that boy challenged the entire class it must be for something. Nijire. You thought about it very well. I thought you would fight. Issei. Maybe later. For now let's see what happens. Nijire just nodded and saw her classmate in front of an entire class. In that, some said that they fought against some professions and against villains. Issei just let out a sigh upon hearing that. Nijire. What's wrong? Griselda. It's very obvious they are underestimating their rival. That could be expensive for them. This is what happened with the enemies who fought against Issei. They underestimated him and they came out very badly. Nijire. I see. At that, the first to go on the attack was Midoriya. Taking a big leap and wanting to kick him in the face, but he crossed her like it was nothing. At that point, several of the other companions launched their attacks, but nothing happened. From 1 second to the next she appeared behind Jiro, hitting him in the stomach. Then she went against the rest, also hitting them in the stomach, leaving them with a pain in the stomach. Mirio. All the long distance have been defeated, now only you are left. At that Mirio began to run towards the group ready to attack. He entered the ground and appeared behind Midoriya, but he knew how to guess and tried to hit him, but it was no use as he was hit in the ribs. Then he went against the rest, quickly knocking them out. Issei. That makes them confident. Mirio. Issei, I want to fight you too. Nijire. I want to see what you're capable of too. Issei. Okay. I never say no to a fight. Going towards him. Issei. As trained very hard, isn't it? You've trained until you're exhausted but you still won't give up. Mirio. You're the first one to realize that. Issei. I trained a lot too and I can see the effort you gave. So I wish you luck. Mirio just gave him a big smile and went on the attack. But Issei just stood there. Seconds later he appeared in front of Issei, hitting him in the face, but he didn't move. Issei. Good blow. Taking advantage of Mirio's surprise, Issei hit him in the stomach, also knocking the air out of him. When his two companions saw that he fell to the ground, they were surprised since it was very easy. Issei. Keep going like this and you will reach very high. Reaching out his hand to help him up. Mirio just gave him a smile and took Issei's hand. After a few minutes everyone was fine. But still everyone's stomach hurt. Najire. Issei, that was great, you beat Mirio. Issei. Take advantage of his surprised face and attack. Mirio. I didn't have time to act hahaha. But you won't beat me next time. Issei. I hope so. Izawa. With this we conclude the day's training. After that they left the place since it was late. Momo. They were great. Usui. Yes they were. But you two didn't fight, now that I think about it, I've never seen you fight. Griselda. It is not necessary to do so. Kianrenksu. It's boring. Ichako. They must be very strong not to fight at all. Griselda. Not at all. We just train very often. Jiro. Maybe they'll give us the chance to fight alongside them. It was great. Ichako. You two together with Issei will surely be accepted. They are very strong. Kianrenksu. Who knows the truth? Momo. Speaking of which. You guys don't have connections with professional heroes, so how are you going to do it? Griselda. The truth is we have received some offers and we are seeing which is the best for the three of us. Jiro. Because they are always together. Griselda. That's how we want it. In case something happens we can help each other. Momo. A single group sounds great. They talked for a while longer and then went to rest since it was late. A few days passed and everyone worked hard to get stronger. Afterwards Izawa informed them that they could join the residency, but only with professionals with a good track record. Issei. Wow, we have a difficult time. I don't have the slightest idea where to go. Griselda. We have several options, but all three of us have to be in favor. Issei. You two decide. I will only go to protect them. Kianrenksu. You think we are weak? Issei. Of course not, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Furthermore, we will not know how long it will take for the portal to open. It can come out of nowhere, you know. It may be a little or a long time. Griselda. You spent a long time in the previous place. Issei. Yes, but I met good people, and also Kianrenksu, although the beginning was not so good. Kianrenksu. Well, I'm sorry for not giving a good presentation. Issei. Hahaha well it doesn't matter. But I'll still leave it to you. So they say yes. Going to their room while both girls look for an agency. Chapter 123. Issei walked through the hallways until he ran into All Might. Issei. Toshinori, how are you doing? Toshinori. Good. Without much to do now that I retire. And tell me, do you have a place to make your residence? Issei. Speaking of which. Toshinori. Come with me, let's go to a place so as not to disturb anyone passing by. Issei just nodded and they both headed off. When Toshinori arrived, he served Issei tea and they began the talk. Toshinori. Well, Issei. I won't go to any agency. Work with the girls alone. Toshinori. It's impossible for you to do that. You could get in trouble. Issei. Toshinori, you are the only one who knows our situation and well, I don't want to cause problems for those people when I leave. Toshinori. I understand what you mean, but you have to go into something like Midoriya did with Night Eyes. At the moment there are only 4 students doing the residencies. Issei. I prefer that way. I will help when necessary. Toshinori. I see. I'll make some calls and find a way to get some permits. Issei. You won't have any problems. Toshinori. Not at all. I was the #1 hero for a reason. When I have something I'll call you. Issei. Thank you. Finishing his tea and leaving the place. Heading to the residence. At that point he crossed paths with her 2 companions. Kinrinksu. Issei I think it would be an idea to go. Issei. I talked to Toshinori and he told me that he was going to get us a permit to walk alone. Griselda. That idea sounds better. Issei. Yes, it's only to be expected. From what I see, Midoriya comes out quite often. I hope it goes well for you. Resuming her walk with the girls. A week later Toshinori called Issei and gave him 3 permission cards which Issei happily took. Upon arriving at the residence he gave them to the girls and at that same moment they left the academy to stop some villains. The days passed and they attracted a lot of attention as they defeated every villain without much difficulty. At that moment Issei and company were leaving the dormitory and met their classmates and went to the train station. After a long trip they noticed that they were going to the same place and the big 3 of the academy were there too. Najire. Hello guys. Issei you too. Issei. Hello again. How are you doing? Najire. Good. That means we're going to work together, it's great, no. Issei. Maybe. How about we go inside and it will start. At that everyone entered the building and went to an office to discuss the new group of villains. Why did you study here? This is seriously no place for children. Issei. You are very superficial friend. Don't be guided by appearances. Be quiet. Night Eyes. Shut up and carry on. They continued the conversation until minutes later when it ended. Issei. Midoriya, I know what you think and don't go causing something stupid. Midoriya. But she's just a girl. She is hurting him. I can't let that happen. Issei. If you act like this you won't get very far, Midoriya. Calm down and think carefully and tell that to your friend too. Midoriya. But you don't understand. Griselda. Midoriya, calm down. Issei may look calm, but he is also upset. So please leave it that way. The others just watched as they didn't know what to say. Issei. I promise to help. Finishing those words he returned to his path. Issei. Girls, we have to end this. Kian Renksu. What will we do? As you saw, there are many places to look. Issei. Then we'll have to go to all those places and cause a bit of a ruckus. Taking out her wings from his spirit bone. Issei. In order not to attract so much attention, you have to fly. Both girls nodded and put out their wings, and the three took flight. Upon reaching their first destination they entered, causing a large explosion. Searching everywhere. At that, Issei grabs one by the neck. Issei. Where is the girl? I do not know, what are you talking about? Issei. Stop playing games. Or you will see me angry. Making his green eyes glow a little, making the person angry. I really don't know. Please forgive me. At that, Issei lets him go, and the man thought he would let him go, but Issei kicked him in the face, destroying him into pieces. Issei. It's caused a lot of damage. The two girls filling up. Issei. They found something. Griselda. Unfortunately no. Kian Renksu. They had just opened this place so they didn't have much information. Issei. Then we'll have to go somewhere else. Griselda. And what do we do with this place? Issei. We must destroy it without leaving evidence. Griselda. I'll take care of it. The three of them left the place. At that, Griselda created a spell destroying it completely, but not before raising a barrier so as not to attract attention. At the end they resumed their path towards their next objective. While at the agency all the students were gathered until Izawa arrived. Izawa. Don't go causing trouble. Midoriya. I thought he was going to refuse us to participate. Izawa. Sooner or later they would have to be in this situation. But where are the other three? Ichako. They left at the end of the meeting. Izawa. I see. Hiroshima. Because they can walk like this without any professionals. Izawa. Even though they are young, they have very high levels. Plus Issei's strength is monstrous. Najire. They have many secrets. Furthermore, he looked calm despite the situation we are in. Izawa. And he did the right thing. He remained calm, not like you who got upset. Midoriya. But she's a girl. Izawa. That's what this job is like. Finishing those words he returned to his path, leaving the students. Days passed waiting for the call. At that time they went in to improve further until it became night and the four of them were gathered. Midoriya. Where is Issei and the girls? Ichako. We haven't seen him all day. Maybe they are searching. Kurishika. Then let's go too. The others nodded and went to the place for the mission. While they were gathering, Issei and his group found the place. Issei. So many turns to get here. What is the Griselda situation like? Griselda. There are many presences there. Most are located in the basement. Issei. I see. To prevent they can use their true abilities. Kian Renksu. Let's finish this quickly. I have a feeling they will arrive soon too. Griselda. Maybe they also found the place. Issei. Then let's go. Entering a house and going straight towards the enemy. Midoriya. I haven't seen Issei, I thought she would be here. Najire. It's strange, since that day we haven't seen him. Mirio. Maybe he's already in that place. Midoriya. But how did I find it? Najire. He is someone strange but trustworthy at the same time. Maybe he's looking. The others nodded and headed towards the place. Just entering Issei, they saw a great person in the distance. They came faster than I thought. Issei. Give up or we'll do it the hard way. Ahaha, you only have to die then. Running towards Issei. When he wanted to hit him, Issei stopped his fist and squeezed it until he completely destroyed his hand. The man only screamed in pain when he saw his hand destroyed. He was going to say something, but Issei punched him in the face, killing him. Issei. Let's continue. Nobody leaves here alive. Kian Renksu. Good. Griselda. I don't like these types of people. Pulling out a sword from a pocket dimension. They continued on their way until they felt the road begin to move. Kian Renksu. What's going on here? Issei. Someone is doing it. Just then Issei saw a shadow and moved quickly, hitting it, but the shadow moved in time. Griselda also saw her and threw a spear of light at her, wounding her leg. Issei took advantage of that and hit him in the stomach, making a hole, killing him, and seconds later the corpse fell from the wall. Without taking much notice, they continued on their way. Chapter 124. Issei and company continued on their way until Issei blocked a blow with his hands. You're tough for a brat. Issei. That blow wasn't bad. Now is my turn. moving quickly that the person did not know where he was going to appear. But Issei appeared near him, punching him in the face. The person did not know how to react in time and he died. Qian Renksu. Only you are fighting Issei, I haven't done anything. Issei. It's better this way. Following his path. Qian Renksu. So what do we do with that person who doesn't move from there? Issei. Do it if you want. Qian just nodded and went to the attack using one of his skills, killing him without much difficulty. At the end they continued on their way. Minutes passed and there were only corpses behind them. But they still continued on their way since they had a mission. At that Issei stopped his pace. Issei. What a coincidence. Now if you will tell me your name. He didn't get any response at that. Issei looked up. Issei. Get out of there. Or I will. Good. But how did you know? Issei. I told you that on that occasion. I can feel people's aura. And what's your name? Amiko Toga. Pleasure. Issei. So you're here too. Toga. Maybe. Issei. Tell me where this girl is. If you tell me I'll let you go. Toga. That's impossible. I do not know anything. Giving Issei a big smile. Issei. Seriously then, what will happen now? Toga. I don't know. Running towards Issei with a knife in hand. But when he did so he noticed that Issei didn't even move and that seemed strange to him, so he continued and stuck the knife in Issei's chest. Griselda and Qian Renksu were surprised to see that. They were going to do something, but Issei stopped them. Toga jumped back. And the knife was laser, but Issei spoke to him. Issei. I don't recommend you do that. You can regret. She didn't pay attention and with a big smile she did it. Seconds later she transforms into Issei. When she was about to say something she felt her body hurt. Toga. What's wrong with me? It's left me. Issei. I told you. Griselda. Issei, what's wrong? Issei. It's because of my blood. Griselda. Your blood. Issei. I once fought a creature and got one of its abilities, which was having great poison. I realized that when something bit me and seconds later it died. They were both surprised to hear that. Issei. I can help you but you tell me. Toga. Okay, I'll tell you. But first yes. Issei just nodded and approached her and made a scratch and after she took out all the poison from her, she little by little felt smaller. Toga. Go straight and then to the right. There is a tunnel there that will take you to another place. Issei. You should have said that from the beginning you know. Stroking his head. She didn't know what to say. At that Issei followed her path. Toga. You won't kill me. Issei. Not for now. But if you hurt someone who knows. Leaving the place. They continued on their way until they found 3 people and the girl. Issei. We finally arrived. I didn't think they would arrive so quickly. Being only 3. You two take care of it, I'm leaving. Returning to his path. Who are you? But she received no response. Why don't you answer? That is my gift to tell me the truth. Issei. I see. But nothing happens. You are not normal people. Qian Renksu. They tell us that more often now. Issei, I'll take care of it. 4th skill angel feathers. Thousands of golden feathers forming behind them, heading towards them. Both masked men could do nothing and received everything squarely. But that they continued on their way. Until we arrived with the 3 missing people. Issei. Well. I shouldn't have trusted useless people. Please leave so you don't get hurt. Issei. Don't worry girl. Everything will be fine. I don't want them to die because of me. Shut up brat. No one will love you since you are cursed. You will only bring misfortune to that person. When the girl heard that, she shed a tear. Seeing that, Issei let out a sigh and became serious. Issei. That's not how you talk to children, especially your son. Oh I see. Just so you know, she is nothing of me, just a tool. Issei. I see. Starting to walk towards him. The man created several stakes with the intention of killing Issei. But when they touched Issei they were destroyed since Issei had a great defense when he wanted it. The man was a little surprised to see that and I think more. But nothing happened. At that Issei took a big step moving quickly, punching the man in the white suit and taking the girl and returning to the girls. Issei. Griselda, please take care of her. Griselda. Okay, you go. Issei just nodded and went at the person. Meanwhile, the heroes had arrived at the house with the police and upon entering the house, they were surprised by the bodies there. Midoriya. What happened here? This is unpleasant. Seeing the disaster. The girls did not like seeing such a massacre. Izawa. We have to continue. Beware. Everyone nodded and continued on their way seeing the same thing. Issei bumped his fist into the person causing the guy's arm to be destroyed, making him scream in pain. What are you? Issei. An ordinary person who hates seeing people like you who make innocent people suffer. I see. Using some of his bullets and throwing them at Issei. Hitting him in the shoulder after that he injects himself with something that restores his arm and makes it stronger. Without your quirk you are nothing. Going at Issei with the intention of killing him when he was about to hit him, Issei stopped him and then broke it completely. How is it possible that I deleted your quirk? Issei. For your information, I do not possess such a thing. Where do you get so much strength from then? Issei. I trained for many years. Approaching him. Issei. Your name is Hisaki, no. You have caused a lot of damage and it is time for you to pay. Hisaki got up from the ground and was going to tell him, but Issei punched him, completely destroying his body and causing great destruction in doing so. The others, upon feeling such tremors, began to run to reach the place. Issei approached his two companions and the girl. When he did so, he noticed how the girl had her eyes closed. Griselda gives it to him and Issei takes it in her hands. Issei. It's all over now. She opened her eyes slowly and as she did so she saw a quality smile from Issei. Issei. No one will hurt you anymore. Now you are safe and you can go with your mom or dad. I do not have family. My mother never loved me and my father died. Issei. I see, I'm sorry. Do not worry about me. You can go away and leave me. Issei. Of course I won't do that. If you don't have anywhere to go, you can stay with me. Why would you do that? I am being about to cry. Issei. You are just a girl who suffered and from now on will have a better life. You won't have any problems because of me. Issei. I've always had problems, but I've gotten out of them. And don't worry, as long as you live no one will touch you. Giving him a big smile. The girl, seeing that, gave Issei a hug, who reciprocated it. Both girls looked at that with a smile. Issei. Oh yes. My name is Issei, you can call me whatever you want. I'm Eri. Then if so you could be my Otu-san. The girls were surprised to hear that. Chapter 125. Eri, not hearing an answer, got scared and was going to speak, but she felt Issei suddenly hug her. Issei. That's what you want, call me that. And as a good father, I will take care of you even more. Eri. Thank you Two-chan. Hearing that, Issei became happier. And he saw the girls still surprised, but he just smiled at them. Issei. Well, I think it's time to go back. Griselda. Wait, first we have to put some clothes on him, those are very worn out. Issei. It's true. We have to go to a store. Griselda. I'll take care of it. Creating a magic circle on Eri's feet and putting her in new clothes and shoes. When she saw her clothes she was surprised but she liked it. Eri. Thank you. Issei was about to speak, but then many people arrived and he was surprised to see destruction there. The students were surprised to see Issei there. Eri, seeing so many people and even more so the police, got scared and stood behind Issei. Midoriya. Issei, what happened here? Issei. It's all over. Night-eye. And you say it so calmly, maybe you don't know the consequences of what you just did. Killing is prohibited. Issei. They didn't deserve to live. Even if they are arrested, they would escape and everything would go back to how it was before. Mirio. Issei, do you know where Eri is? Maybe they escaped. Issei. No, she's here. Moving and everyone could see Eri. Mirio and Midoriya were happy to see her and approached her, but she got scared when she saw them and took a step closer to Issei. Issei. Come on, relax, she's scared. So leave it, yes. Najire. Issei, you are incredible for knowing all this. Issei. She was alone. I had help. Ichako. You guys are strong. Issei. Well, let's leave this talk. I have to take Eri somewhere else. Taking her in her arms and leaving the place. But then a police officer, being the leader, took him by the shoulder. You have to come with us and that girl has to be there too. She couldn't finish as Issei turned around and gave her a blank look that scared him so much that she even fell to the ground. Issei. Don't you dare touch my daughter. Or you will know the consequences. I can be nice and all, but if you touch my loved ones I can be your worst enemy. Returning to her usual look and leaving the place. Those who saw that look were trembling with fear. Issei and company left the house. Issei. Eri, you're hungry. Eri. A little. Issei. What do you want to eat? Eri spoke with some shame. Eri. I've never tried what they call hamburgers and. Issei. Don't say anything else. Come on. Putting Eri on her shoulder and starting to walk in search of a place. A few hours passed and the group was returning to the academy. Issei. And what did you think? Eri. It was fun, thanks for everything Two-chan. Issei. Whenever you want, let's go again. Eri. Two-chan, I have a question. Issei. Yes, what happens? Eri. These two are yours. Issei. You talk about Griselda and Kian Renksu. They are very important people to me, just like you. I will always take care of them. Eri. I understand. Griselda. When you want something, don't hesitate to come with us. We are going to help you with whatever you want. Eri. Thank you very much. After walking a little they reached their destination. By doing so it was already late and everyone was asleep so they went to their rooms. Issei. Eri, you will sleep in my bed today. Eri. And you. Issei. I'm not sleepy and I have something to do, but don't worry, I'll be here all night. Eri. Okay. Laying down on the bed and falling asleep quickly since she was sleepy. Issei. No one will hurt you from now on as much as you and the girls. I will fight for your happiness. Taking a seat in the only chair she had and reading a book. The next day most of them were having breakfast until Issei came down with company and everyone was surprised to see the girl. Momo. Who is that girl? Sue. But she's very cute. Issei. This is Eri. She is under my care from now on and she also lived here so take care of her. Lita. But she is prohibited from doing that. Issei. Yesterday afternoon I spoke with the director and he gave me permission. Hiroshima. Adi, they give you everything or what? Issei. Of course not. Going to the table and then going to bring both of their food. Kan Renksu. How did you sleep? Eri. Well, thank you. But Tu-chan didn't sleep because when I woke up she was reading a book. Griselda. He hardly sleeps so don't worry. If you want you can come to my room to sleep too. Kan Renksu. Also mine. Eri. Thank you but I want to be with Tu-chan. Griselda. You like Issei. Eri. He is very kind and accepts me as I am. Plus he always smiles. Griselda. He will always have that smile. Just then Issei arrived with food for both of them. Eri. Tu-chan because you don't have a hero suit like the others. Issei. To be a hero it is not necessary to wear such a thing. But I have armor. Eri. Seriously and I can see it. Issei. Sure. Getting up from his head, she nodded and activated his 100. Eri was surprised to see her. But she liked it. The other students were fascinated now that they could see her up close. At that Issei deactivates it. Eri. He's great. Issei. Thank you. Also Griselda and Kan Renksu have their suits but they don't wear them too. When Eri knew that, stars formed in her eyes and she saw both girls and they just nodded. Griselda showed him her armor and Kan Renksu brought it from her spiritual office. The boys were surprised by such outfits although some got a runny nose from the sight. Eri. I want a suit like that in the future. Issei. Sure. When the time comes you will have it. Eri was happy to hear that and after finishing they went for a little walk. Issei showed him around the academy. She was happy seeing everything around her. Eri was talking with Griselda and Kan Renksu while Issei was with Toshinori. Toshinori. Because she hasn't lost control. Well, you know. Issei. Because what she wants is to have the love of a family. Tell me what would have happened if she had gone to the police. They would have forced her to say a lot of pressure and that makes a lot of her nervous. Toshinori. You're right. That's why you didn't let them take her. Issei. That's right. She deserves to be happy and she suffered a lot. Toshinori. But you should know that sooner or later some villains will come for her dawn. Issei. If they come they must be ready for the consequences. I do not forgive anyone who hurts my loved ones. Toshinori. You're used to killing from what I see. Issei. You never get used to that. But over time there is no choice but to do so. It is better to do it yourself than to have someone else do it and be traumatized. Sooner or later these kids will see a close friend die or have to kill. Toshinori. That's the life of a hero. Issei. You must prepare them for that moment. Because it's very hard. Starting to walk towards the girls. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.